welcome back everyone, welcome back to another week, another edition here of the SEL, the StarCraft Evolution League Season 2 Championship, Round of 16, Group C. I'm of course Josiah VIP, with you and joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome one and all. I do apologize, by the way, we did miss out on one cast yesterday. We were going to be covering the Pegasus Cup, but again, I was not necessarily feeling 100%, so didn't quite delve into Pegasus Cup, but at least we're here to continue the week of StarCraft that we have ready for you. Again, it's a very intense week, 2 casts a day every single day. We have StarCraft Evolution League, of course. We also have the podcast later on in the evening, and all the StarCraft. We're looking to finish up and wrap up the group stage of SEL. For the time being, though, we're going to be jumping in, and we have our first series and group of the broadcast. Bam! Let's head on over. Let's switch the scenes over and catch up on the group itself. Now, as a reminder, this is StarCraft Evolution, not a regular StarCraft 2, so this is a tournament-based, or I should say played on a mod, on a StarCraft 2 mod that does put together Brood War and StarCraft 2, so it's a very unique mod, very fun. There's a lot of players that do dedicate their time solely to StarCraft Evolution, more so than SC2, and we are in the group stage. We're in the round of 16 group stage here to determine who will make it through to the playoffs. Over the past 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, we did go over Group A and Group B respectively. Now we have Group C and Group D remaining. Group C is going to be today, Group D is going to be tomorrow, and remember, the playoffs are over the weekend. The playoffs are going to be over the weekend, so we're going to be there for those matches, for those events. I mean, I say that, I think we're going to be covering those via replays as well, just because this weekend is going to be Maestros of the game. This is a lot of StarCraft. A lot of StarCraft is going on. For the time being, though, we do have our 4 players. We have Classic, HonMonO, Cure, and Rumeith. We have 2 Terrans, a Protoss, and a Zerg player. A nice spread of players here, and I'm really curious to see how certain players will actually perform. Now, coming into this, Classic is the best Protoss in StarCraft Evolution. 100%. Like, straight up. You can make an argument for Hero, just because Hero also has had a really strong record, but Hero doesn't play anywhere near as actively. So, again, Classic, he is stepping in as the best Protoss, and he's stepping in as the #1 seed of the tournament, or of this group, I should say, favored to maybe even win the entire tournament. Meanwhile, another player here that's going to be an interesting one is Cure. Cure, he is stepping in as a player that is very unfamiliar with StarCraft Evolution. For this event, a bunch of Korean players were invited, Korean players that are not familiar with the mod, but again, they were invited to take part and to maybe get like indoctrinated into StarCraft Evolution. We spoke about this regarding Rumeith yesterday, or I guess for Group B. Players like Rumeith, players like Cure, players like Rogue as well. Those are the 3 that come to mind. There might be another there that I might be forgetting, but Cure, Rumeith, and Rogue, these are the 3 players that don't play StarCraft Evolution, and that I'm assuming are going to be relying solely on their SE2 skills to carry them through. That was the case with Rumeith, and that has been the case with Cure up until this point. We're casting the round 16, the round of 28 was before this, and Cure, I think he lost every game with Brood War Terran, but he won every game with SE2 Terran. And hey, they got him this far. They got him this far, and it may take him out of the group as well and take him even further. We'll see. Like, again, I'm really curious to see Rumeith, Cure, and Rogue, to see how they perform, to see how they perform with their Brood War respective races, and how far they can go. How much can SC2 carry you, baby? That's the real question. Likewise, we have a HonMonO and Rumeith. These are 2 players that are very familiar with StarCraft Evolution. They're a little bit more in the middle of the pack when it comes to their overall skill levels. HonMonO is a very aggressive Terran player, very aggressive and very cheesy at times. Rumeith, he's a bit of a mixed bag. He's a very strong player in his own right, so don't get me wrong, he's one of the better Zerg players in StarCraft Evolution. But I don't know how he'll compare to Cure, I'll be honest. And again, I'm kind of favoring Classic over all of them, but we'll see. We shall see. We'll see how our players have been preparing for the SC Evolution Championship. Game 1 is going to be on Maganatha between HonMonO and Classic. Let's go. Let us go. Again, HonMonO, he can punch up, especially in this matchup, so we'll see how he can perform against Classic. We'll see what he brings to the table, as we're going to be loading into one of the larger maps in the map pool. Here we go. Oh, that's not the correct in-game logo. Un momento, that's from yesterday. That's from Pegasus Cup. Un momento, papi, un momento. Very beautiful. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the we have the red Terran player, the red Terran. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Protoss Pro. It is a classic. Here we go. Oh, hi. Just catching up. NV4 logo is not updated. True. Oh no. So we are settling in. I believe it should be good on every other scene, right? Just double checking. Yeah. We got every other scene. We are good to go. For the time being, we do have our double gas open out of HonMonO going for a faster factory. Meanwhile, we do have Classic just going for his own gate expand or gate cyber expand. We're just settling into our standard openers here. As a reminder, as we mentioned, Magnath is one of the larger maps, longer rushes and spike ground, so it does typically favor longer games. But it's HonMonO we're talking about. He's not really one to macro. He's not really one to expand, not really one to get into a longer game state. So we'll see where he takes us. We'll see where we go. From here, of course, faster factory can lead into a faster starport, into a crazy one base all-in, or just factory expand. You see HonMonO keeping Classic in the dark, does fully wall off. Classic not fully aware as to what's going on. And again, just expanding back at home. When it comes to PvT, when it comes to Protoss vs Terran in this current meta, we are expecting Classic to open up with a Robo, so as we do have a second gateway, but into a Robo, into a Reaver, into like Reaver drop play. We saw that quite a bit already here from Classic in our show match, or in his show match versus Tasia, if you recall. We did cover the Enki Epic series, what was it, last week, the week before that, and Classic was looking very dominant against Tasia. As Classic, he didn't drop a single map. it was crazy. But I believe he did incorporate Reaver drops in almost every game. So that did give us a glimpse of Classic coming into the championship. As we have a CC on the high ground, HonMonO is going to be expanding. A crazy one base all in. Shield batteries on the way, Jigrin will poke out. And again, we're still waiting for a tech of choice from Classic. We'll get there. I mean, a bit of a late reaction from HonMonO, takes some extra hits, but does pull away. Take these Cyclones in production. Classic, you can try and delay the expansion and try to maintain control of the low grounds. But now pulling back. Does pull back, doesn't want to get caught out, so didn't really get to see too much behind this yet. Still in the dark. Again, we've spoken about this before, but scouting can be a lot more difficult here for Brood War or Protoss. This is another reason why Robo openers and Reaver drops are so common, because it's a way to harass, but more importantly, it's a way to scout as well. Again, there's no like fast hallucination scout or anything like that is available to Classic. So there's that Robo. Third gateway takes a more defensive stance. Again, if HonMonO were to open up with a medevac to drop across the map, then Classic feels, I mean, it's difficult to be in position for that, so they'll stay back for the time being. Now moving out behind this, we do have a second starport, and we've seen this quite a bit here in the current meta, is to go mass Banshee, assuming that that's where we're headed. If you recall, we saw this out of Tasia as well. And I want to say we saw it even previously, maybe even from like HonMonO in months past. As the bunker's under fire, not enough SCVs to repair, the bunker does go down. HonMonO, he did run out of minerals if I'm not mistaken. And this is getting a little bit out of hand. Cyclone's out of position. Oof. Yeah, Brutal Volley's going up, first Cyclone does go down. And Classic, he may just overrun here and now. Has Banshee productions underway, but it may not matter. It may not matter here. Classic, he has broken the natural SCV, is going to be going down. HonMonO, he cannot engage. Again, he was out of position. The Banshees, they will help at least somewhat, but remember, they don't have cloak. There's no cloak, so the Dragoons, they can hold their own against them. The tank has arrived. The tank will hold. Classic just chilling, taking another expansion. And enjoying himself, papi. And meanwhile, big shout to Rio in the chat. Papi, gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a good ladder session. Buenas noches, papi. Buenas noches. As the tank is going to go down. Buenas noches. Gracias, gracias. Como siempre. And GG gets cool. There's nothing to defend. And Classic takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG will play. Nice raid number. Yes, very nice. Very nice. STV. But GG, again, pretty straightforward here. We didn't really get into our games. Unfortunately, HonMonO was out of position. Unfortunately, his Cyclones are out on the map when the Dragoons were moving in, so there was that much less to defend. It was also unfortunate that HonMonO, he had no minerals, so even though he pulled the boys to repair, he actually ran out of minerals, so the boys stopped repairing. I believe that's what occurred. So the Dragoons, they just broke through the bunker, they just broke through the bio. The Cyclones were a non-factor in that fight. Otherwise, it could have been behind the bunker with 2 extra lock-ons to buy time. Alas, the pants were down. GG, well played. Unfortunately, we didn't really get into the double starport mass banshee. We might be able to get into that here, as game 2 is going to be on Rumeith. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Rumeith, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Protoss Pro, the brutal Protoss. It is a Classic. Here we go. Classic's micro Dragoons better than anyone else in this EVA. Makes Dragoons versus Cyclone with the winning match of Protoss. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's also why I mentioned that it wouldn't be like if the Cyclones were at home, that would have been a secure defense, but it would have been that with the Cyclones being at home, they would have been behind the bunker and would have ideally bought some time, would have maybe even killed a Dragoon, just enough time for the eventual tank to pop out, and for the additional defenses to pop out. The other downside, though, specifically for what HonMonO was doing, was that he was delaying his factory production in favor of the second starport, in favor of the Banshee play as well. Like, there was kind of a lot coming into play there, and again, HonMonO, he was caught out. I think what was a little bit unfortunate as well is that Classic, he didn't really know that, like, HonMonO, he was investing a lot into those Banshees, a lot into that second starport. Didn't necessarily know that HonMonO was vulnerable in that moment, but just found the damage anyway. He just made his way in. It was, let's go. It looks like a 1 base all in. We have a 1 base all in out of HonMonO. We have a 3-rack setup here from our Terran player. And we are going to commit. From here, my apologies, I assumed we were going to be building a Marines, but no, gases are being taken. We do have Mass Reaper on the way. Rumeith does have a cliff face coming into the main base. This is not always the case. A lot of the Broodor maps actually don't have Reaper cliffs, or at least some of them don't. This one does. Bearing in mind as well that HonMonO is not fully aware of the location of his opponent, so still has to determine where exactly Classic is, as this is a 4-player spawn map. So you can spawn in at every corner of the map. HonMonO, the Mass Reaper, is upon us. And it looks like he will find Classic. It will find him. Ah. The Broodor theme. The Terran theme, I should say. Beautiful. It does move out. Again, HonMonO, he has found his opponent. Classic, there is a probe scout, has likewise found HonMonO as well. Does spot the racks, but nothing else than that. The boys are being pulled, and it's all or nothing. HonMonO, he's gonna send it, Pat. He's gonna send it. 1 base all in. Either he kills Classic or he dies trying. We knew this series was gonna be a short one. Even if HonMonO wins here, like, it's gonna... we knew, Pat. We knew. It's HonMonO, Pat. So we have 4 Reapers currently. Shield battery is halfway done. We can get into the first Dragoon, not bad. The first Dragoon is going to be targeted. The other Dragoon does get surrounded. Takes down one of the Reapers, but that is a brutal surround. 1 Dragoon falls already. But the shield battery is done. Yeah, shield battery is complete. Dragoons, they try to zone away the Reapers. Ooh, they get a couple of shots off. Ooh, 1 Dragoon. Oh no, he's out of range. Does pull back. Does pull back within range, and from here, Classic, he is kiting well. He may lose a couple of boys, but it's fine. He can lose probes. Can't afford it. Every SCV is going to go down, and Classic holds. Classic, he does hold on. 6 probes for 10 SCVs. There's barely any saturation across the map. Classic is miles ahead, and Classic only lost the 1 Dragoon, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, only the first Dragoon went down, and even then, that was a bit of a slip up from Classic. From here, he is looking very secure, and it's going to be difficult for HonMonO to break through. Bearing in mind that Classic still has that shield battery, and he can still pull the boys if need be. Reapers to make their way into the main. Try to make the way in. That's going to be 2 Reapers going down. And guess 2 Dragoons, but more Reapers are falling. And over time, Classic will outscale HonMonO. HonMonO does rotate over to the natural. Not bad. Going for the pylon. Ideally, wants to get into the bases, wants to get into the mineral line. But is being thrown away. Behind this is no CC, no expansion, there's still no other setup, it's still just mass Reaper. Technically, HonMonO, he might be able to build up to the point where he can pull the boys for a second time. Like, I would not put it... Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say, I wouldn't put it past HonMonO, we've seen him do it before. Yeah, let's go, let's go. Oh, no. Is it a bad thing if I'm starting to think like HonMonO? Is that a negative? Is that... Probably. It's... Yeah. I would assume so. It's not good. Oh god, no! HonMonO, calm down! I killed his own SCV to free up supply for 1 more Reaper. So, making 1 more Reaper. Let's go. As he does move in, probes are being pulled. Once again, nice kiting here from Classic, and we'll see if we can get 1 of those Dragoons. Probes are pulled away. And every SCV is now going down. Oof. Killing the shield battery, gets 1 of the Dragoons, gets 2. Takes down 2 Dragoons, takes down 3, let's go. 3 Dragoons do go down. We have so many more coming out though. Yeah, Dragoons, they do reinforce. And we are down to how many? Down to 9 Reapers. Down to 9. Oh no! Like the Reaper shot goes up. GG gets called. And the Classic, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the next round. GG. Whew. GG, well played, congratulations. Classic, he will claim the series. He will take the 2-0 here. As we mentioned, Classic is coming in as the heavy favorite to make it out of the group in first place. He is the #1 seed of potentially the entire tournament. But despite that, HonMonO, you know, he's one that can hold his own, and he was able to bring some shenanigans here to the table. Didn't quite break through, but regardless, GG. GG, well played. And again, HonMonO, he will have another opportunity to make it out. As he's still in the group. He's still in the group, of course. As he's knocked down to the elimination match. Meanwhile, we're going to be jumping into our next matchup here. 1 moment as I make sure I update the score. Update the score on the groups. But up next is going to be a very interesting one, though. The matchup that I've been waiting for here is going to be a TVZ between Cure and Rumeith. And I mentioned this earlier. We were talking about it during the Gumiho group, how we were curious to see how Gumiho was going to handle Brood War Terran, and I think he lost every game with Brood War Terran. I think... Likewise, Cure, the same thing happened to Cure in the round of 28. We'll see how he handles himself here in the round of 16. Can he rely solely on his StarCraft 2? We're here to find out. We're here to find out. Game 1 is going to be on Maganatha. Here we go. We'll see. We'll find out how familiar he is with this game mode with StarCraft Evolution. This morning, in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the Brood War Zerg. It is Rumeith from South Korea. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the StarCraft 2 Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. Here we go. As we are going to be settling in again to a StarCraft 2 map, so a map that Cure is a little more familiar with, and of course Cure is able to embrace his StarCraft 2 as well. Coming into this Cure, I would lean towards as being the favorite player. We'll see if Rumeith can pop off. See if he can pop off. We'll see if he can overwhelm Cure. But now, going hatch first. Do have our hatch first opener. Likewise, Cure setting up economically as well, as we do settle in. Now again, if you're out there, if you happen to have watched the Random 28, I would appreciate to know how Cure played out his matches and how he played out his series and even how he played out his Brood War. Again, unfortunately, we weren't able to cover the Random 28, so it would be nice to know for those of you that were able to tune into that. As I don't really know what to expect. Don't know what to expect. My first time casting Cure in StarCraft Evolution. For now, Rax Expand. Standard economic opener here out of Cure. Everything looking normal so far. I guess, for example, out of Gumiho, we saw a lot of mech. We saw a lot of mech out of Gumiho, for example, which is to be expected. It is Gumiho. Cure has been dabbling in mech in StarCraft 2. For those of you that do watch us on a regular basis, you will know that Cure, he has been dabbling in mech against Zerg. And even against Protoss as well, going Cyclone. So that is not off the table here from Cure. Does SCV scouts, it does confirm the third base. Again, all the hatcheries are being thrown down, Rumeith just settling in. There's no like extra gases or excess gas here working towards a faster lair. I say that Rumeith does now have the gas for link speed. And he has not started researching it. For now, he's a little bit preoccupied here by the Reaper. Reaper does dance with the Lings. We are banking up resources, and again, are we going to get into link speed? Are we going for the lair? What is the plan here? Where are we spending our gas? Yeah, Rumeith, again, he's overly focused on this defense. And it's still just droning. And the Reaper's trading quite nicely, actually. It's this is getting a little bit out of hand. Looks like at this point we should be skipping link speed. We have 200 gas, so we should be working towards a lair. That's, yep, there we go. Hydrogen. We're skipping link speed. This is quite greedy here from Rumeith, and we'll see if Cure can punish. Now, this is almost like a gasless opener out of Rumeith, just because he's skipping link speed and he's rushing into Hydras. There is going to be a window here available where Hellions could try to break through and try to rush past the creep colony and get into a mineral line. As Cure, speaking of mech, there it is, second factory. Again, it's good that we brought up that Cure, he has been playing mech against Zerg and mech against Protoss in recent times in StarCraft 2. Here, he is meching it up as well. So he does shell away here at the third. We have 3 factories being set up. This should be battle mech out of Cure. Now, side defense is stronger here for StarCraft, for the Brood War side of things. So the colony can do a better job here just zoning away. Hellions, they rotate. They rotate over, they're looking for a way in. And there's Macro Accelerators. Nice scout out of Rumeith. He does scout, he does confirm the mech that's coming his way. Does see the research, he knows. Rumeith does know. Now, how does Brood War Zerg deal with mech here? Is going to become the next big question. Hellions, yeah, they just run past. They just rush past. Thankfully, there are Hydras in position. 1 Hellion goes down. 3 of them still get in. They can still one-shot. And 3 drones going down. But only 4 workers. Nothing major yet. Up! Does go back around. Boys are pulled away. And Rumeith defense. Honestly, a nice defense here. Nice defense overall. This could have been a lot worse. It's almost a 1-to-1 trade. 4 Hellions for 4 drones. Better trade for Rumeith. Behind this, massing up more Cyclones, massing up more Blue Flame Hellions. Now, Ling Hydra, I feel like can work against Battle Mech, but it doesn't sound amazing. Unfortunately, like, Hydras are quite fragile. Lings are quite fragile as well. I feel like Battle Mech can have its way with Ling Hydra. Up until we work towards Lurkers and up until we work towards Spellcasters, that's when things can maybe swing in favor of Rumeith, referring to Queens, referring to Ensnare. But pre-Ensnare, I have to give it to the Terran. So if I was deny mining. again just distracting Rumeith, allowing Cure to expand. Gets his third up and running. Gaining map control. And moving out. It's a much later lair here out of Rumeith. That's a 6-minute lair timing. That is insane. I was bringing up something like Ensnare, something like Queens. We are a ways away tech-wise from any of that. Yeah, Cyclones, there we go. So far, oh my god. Then we go have 4, 5. 5 Hydras go down. Game to 6, game to 7. 8, 9 Hydra. This might just be too much. I'll be honest, without static defense, without those sunken colonies, this army cannot hold its own. There are only 4 Hydras left. The Cyclones, baby, let's go. Yeah, the Hydras, they melt 1, a Cyclone goes down, he gets 1, he gets 2, but he will lose everything. Yeah, Rumeith, he will lose everything, he's going to be overwhelmed. Again, the colonies will help, but the Cyclones, they lock on, they bring down the first colony. How about some more Finn? Again, the colonies are buying time, they're tanking. Rumeith, he's holding on. He holds on. As Cure, he burned through his buffer. He had to burn through all of his Hellions. And he does need that support, otherwise he'll start losing Cyclones. So this is a delicate dance here, but a dance says Cure is winning. Oof, there we go, 2 Cyclones going down. As you mentioned, okay, you need those Hellions in front. Hydra count getting up to a comfortable count. Okay. Again, I'll be honest, if it wasn't for those 3 sunken colonies, Rumeith, the game might be already over. They did a great job just tanking, buying time. But it's too much anyway. Yeah, the Cyclones, the Locons are brutal. Every Hydra is going to go down. And Cure, he still does break through. We have 3 more colonies on the way. Once again, they will tank. They will buy some time. They allow more Hydras to bank up. Oh god. The first couple of queens are on the way. Let's go. They're coming. But the efficiency has been insane. Cure is getting his 4th base on location. And Snare is still on the way. Oh, a bit of miscontrol there, a bit of mismovement out of Cure, losing 2 Cyclones. 2 Cyclones go down. And Rumeith, unfortunately, out of position. But again, the colonies, they buy some time. They allow some of the Hydras to respond. He's able to respond. And Snare is complete. Let's go. He's got Ensnare. Queens, they're coming in for the flank, and the Ensnare will connect. The Cyclones are going to be locked down. And the Hydras, they will close that distance. Remember, Ensnare lasts a long time. And there we go, 3, 4, 5 Cyclones going down. Very nice trade. No, at the same time, Hellions, they get into the middle line. 15 drones going down. Did I say 15, 16, up to 18 drone kills. Rumeith, we gotta go, we gotta commit. We gotta commit across the map. We spoke about it once and Snare hits the field, then bam, we have a big power spike for Rumeith. All the queens go down. And Rumeith, it's all or nothing. He has to end the game here and now. I say he has to deal crippling damage, and so far he is. Gets into the mineral line. 10 SCV kills. 10 SCVs. He will kill the CC as well. Very nice. Yeah, he kills the CC, and Rumeith, he may have just done it here. Cure down to 3 bases. He's muling as much as he can. Cure's also banking, so having a hard time spending his resources. There we go. CC's on the way. It's Cure, he is holding on. Oh god. We need more queens, where are they? Okay, 1 queen just popped, we have 2 more on the way, 3 in total. We need those queens. And as you can see, individually in small numbers here, you can see the Hydras, they do nothing. The Hydras, they just melt, they just evaporate. But in high numbers, and again, Hydras are relatively cheap, like they can mass up, they can overwhelm, they can hold their own. He just needs time to mass up those Hydras. As making 11 Hydras at a time. Building up his Hydra counts, so the Queens have been scouted. And so far, Cure, he's still committed to just mass battle. Okay. So Rumeith, he lost the middle line, but hey, he killed a base. He killed the CC, did enough damage. The Queens are out. We got those ensnares. Cure, he has to respect the Queens. He's got to respect. Oh no! The ensnares are coming in. Oh, it doesn't quite land. Ooh, that's Hellbats do morph in as well. They're here to tank, they hit a buffer. The Cyclones, they kite back, and the Hydras are getting caught out here. Oh, we do get some nice ensnares. Hellbats are falling, and the Cyclones, they cannot kite. Yeah, they cannot kite away. They're committed. Oof. Still an extensive trade for Rumeith, but he does reset the Cyclone counts. And these are expensive losses here for Cure. Cyclones are meant to build up over time, but those ensnares have been brutal. Every time we land some ensnares, the Cyclones, they die. Like, they do not escape. Ensnare's pretty good. Ensnare's pretty good. Now we're switching to tanks. When from here, Cure, he should be able to hold on. Yeah, there's not enough Hydras. Forcing friendly fire, though. Does force friendly fire. 19 SCV kills. As Cure, he has now finally switched into tank production. Basically, once the Queens hit the field, that is where Cyclones, they lose a lot of their strength, they lose a lot of their power, and that's where we would have needed a faster switch into tanks. As these have been some expensive losses here for Cure. But now he's gone there, now he's switched. Tanks ain't caught out. Late siege. Does catch the reinforcing Hydras, but the main force does hit the natural. Getting on top of the tanks. Hellies, they hold their own. Hellies will clean up. And we have a back and forth. We have a back and forth here. As the tank count gets higher, that's where Queens, they're going to need that spawn Broodlings. That would be, I would imagine, the current best answer to that. Is to go link Hydra into more Queens. And there we go, spawn Broodlings now being researched. So still not available. Until then, like, tanks say they're going to be quite threatening. I think Hydra going for the counter-attack. We're going for a pseudo base trade. Cure, he'll lose an expansion. Likewise, Rumeith, he'll lose one as well. But Rumeith is so much faster to get in. Takes down the middle line, takes down the CC. And Cure, we gotta commit. We gotta keep going. Spawn Broodling's almost done. It's almost ready. It's almost ready. They bust into the bases. We just ensnare the tanks. Sure, we can spawn Broodling, but we would have no energy. We have no energy anymore. But the Mass Hydra might just be enough anyway. Hydras, they spread across the map. Rumeith, he's racing back home. He does race back, and he will clean up this army. Takes down all the tanks. Did lose an expansion, but Rumeith, he still has 74 drones. He still has an economy. He can still mess up. He can still overwhelm. He can still just overwhelm Cure. Cure has to turtle. He might not want to, but he has to turtle up. Do we have any queens left? No. 0 queens. We have 4 queens on the way. Cure moving out with a Hellion Runby. Sunken colonies are ready. As Hydras, they try to bypass the main army, they will. Yeah, they bypass all the tanks, they get into the natural. Get into the bases. Curie just was out of position. Tanks are trying to race on over. That's going to be another 10 SCV kills. And the supplies are close currently, but Rumeith has an economy. He can rebuild, he can remax. Cure, I can't say the same. Which is why currently Cure, I feel like he has to just turtle up and preserve his bases. I don't know if a move out across map will do it. It'll be close. I mean, Cure's army is pretty huge. How many tanks do we have? 9. We have 9 tanks. How many queens are there? 7 queens! And they need a little bit more time to gather energy. Unlike Vipers, they cannot just gather energy. They cannot suck on buildings. The queens, they need time. As they cannot spawn broodlings. Hopefully we don't come in and ensnare tanks. I mean, hopefully we're a little bit patient with those queens. Rumeith is going for the base trade, going for the counterattack. Tanks are moving in. There are Vikings to turn away the queens. Means they're banking energy. And we are just going for the base trade. Sure, we gotta go further in. We gotta keep going. Very good. Rumeith does have bottom left as well. He's rebuilding his tech. Rebuilding his hydrogen. As production buildings are going down, tech is going down, but the queens are now ready. Some of them at least. Yeah, they move in. They get 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4 tanks go down. 5 tanks go down. They land in a snare, and they reset the tank count. They reset the tanks. 1 tank left. And Rumeith, he has done it. At this point, he has done it. He has cleaned up the entire army. The spawn broodlings. Oof. Passes out all the Vikings. GG gets called, and Rumeith, he takes game number 1. Whew, GG. A very, very intense game 1. Again, we were giving a little praise to the sunken colonies, and honestly, like, if it wasn't for those colonies, if it wasn't for the side defense, Cure, he would have overwhelmed. He was out trading, but as we were mentioning, they were able to buy enough time for the Hydras to mass up, to bank up, to be able to hold his own, to be able to survive, and to counterattack as well. Not just that, but on top of that, this also shows a little bit of inexperience out of Cure. I'm specifically referring to the tech switch. I'm referring to the fact that he was on BattleMech for a while and it was worth it, but once the queens popped out, he stuck with BattleMech even longer, right? He stuck with BattleMech for like another 2 fights, if you recall, for another 2 engagements, before finally admitting they cannot rely on BattleMech anymore because of the ensnares, and then he finally switched into tanks. But the time it took for that to happen, it felt very long, and I'm sure it felt long because I don't know how often he's gone up against that kind of composition, gone up against queens. I don't know if he was respecting them quite enough there. But again, in my mind at least, that comes down to like some inexperience out of Cure, recognizing when to switch, when to tap out, or I guess when to switch out of BattleMech, and when to kind of accept like a kind of game state sort of thing. But GG, well played. Whew. Oh, just catching up in the chat. Catching up. Become one with the motto. Oh no. Not like this. Kira Def looks a bit lost. At one point, I forgot to research Siege. Oh, that is brutal. Just catching up with the chat. Sorry, just to catch up. Earlier, I was asking for any insight on Cure's play, just because we didn't get to see him in the round of 28. One game played brutal where he played against Milky Cow, who rushed him. Cure versus okay. I see. Needs to infest the command center. True. I mean, here we go. We are now getting to the next game. But again, I mean, Cure, he had a lot of momentum for the majority of that game. He had a lot of momentum. He had a lot, at least for the first half, he had a lot of map control. As we mentioned, in the end, we saw that Rumeith, he was able to buy enough time, able to build up enough Hydra count where he could hold his own, eventually teched into the queens, and eventually brought it all back. And now we're getting into game number 2. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Pylon, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg, the Brood War Zerg, leading the series 1-0. It is Rumeith. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And no surprises here, Cure, he lost game 1, so he is going back and relying on StarCraft 2 once again for game number 2. And, is looking to open up 2x Reaper. Okay, now, again, I do actually like this, especially on Pylon. Pylon, welcome to Pylon. Pylon is a smaller map of the map pool, a shorter rush distance by ground, so we can try to make use of that to our advantage here. With this, we should be going for, a second Rax. We might even throw down a third Rax in the main to go into 3 Rax Reaper. Regardless, mass Reaper here out of Cure, and we spoke about this in the past, but because there are no queens for Brood War Zerg, it does mean that there is a bigger window in time where these Reapers can do damage. Of course, once we get into side defense, once we get into sunken colonies, we can hold our own. We'll see what Cure can accomplish, as he is straight up going for 3x Reaper, and he's not even hiding it. This is very brazen. This is a very brazen build here from Cure. There's no hidden building, no hidden structure. He's not trying to fake out anything. He just wants to commit to mass Reaper. Okay. So mass Reaper out of Cure. We'll see if he can out-control and overwhelm Rumeith. Oh boy, it's not going to be an easy defense. It's not going to be easy. The Overlord will scout, the Overlord will confirm the Raxes. Only sees 2 of them. Doesn't go further out. Here we go. And we're rushing into a lair? Oh, we're gonna be delaying link speed. Delay link speed, 2 base lair. We have the colony on the way, that is true, but this I'm not so sure about. Okay, we're getting a colony in the main as well. So 2 colonies, very greedy response by Rumeith. And we'll see if he can buy enough time, if he can minimize losses until the colonies get up and running. They're gonna finish, Jesus. They finished so quickly. He should be fine. By the time 2 Reapers arrive, I wasn't sure about the timing here, but the first colony is done at the natural. The second colony is finishing up here to cover the Reaper cliff. Ooh, 1 drone goes down. Now, on the one hand, yes, these colonies will not be broken, but the Reapers, they can slip by. Yeah, there's an opening. He can just go straight in between the bases, down and then back in, and go straight for the mineral line. Oh, yeah, these colonies, they're not going to cover the mineral lines. And Cure, he can just send it. Remember, link speed was delayed. But now he's just banking Reapers. Yep, now here he goes into the mineral. Oh no. And remember, there's no link speed. We're going 2-base Spire. 2-base Muta. The boys are being pulled. Can we surround? Oh, not quite. Yeah, we'll not surround. This is just so much greed out of Rumeith. So much greed. And Rumeith should lose everything. He should lose everything here. Not a single Reaper goes down, kills all the Zerglings, gets into the mineral line, denies mining, scouts the lair, scouts the Spire. Could he cancel? No shot. He's gonna cancel the Spire. No. I mean, we attempt to surround once again. 1 Reaper goes down, link speed finishes. There we go. Now link speed is done. And Rumeith, he will hold, but at a cost. Now, thankfully, he saved the Spire at least. Did save it. But we can just turn this into a 3x mass Marine. Yeah, Marines are massing. Stim is on the way. This has been a shaky start for Rumeith. It's been very shaky. The colonies, they did nothing back. They did nothing. Oh. Again, Cure is looking very comfortable. He was able to deal economic damage early on. He was able to scout, so he knows what's coming his way. The mutas are not going to be a surprise. And fun fact, Rumeith, he isn't even making any mutas. As the Reapers are still active. They're still getting value. Yeah, they're still gaining value here again, just making use of this Reaper cliff. More drones going down. Oof. Confirms that the spy wasn't cancelled. There we go. We finally get us around. We lock down the Reapers. It's going to be 3 drones falling. We have Scourge. We got 10 Scourge on the way. Unfortunately, I mean, there are going to be medevacs eventually, so that will be an answer, going Ling Scourge, I suppose. Basically, Rumeith, he has no faith that Mutas will do any damage because he got scouted, right? So he's not bothering to invest into Muta. But he is behind economically. He needs a 3rd base. The best chance here for Rumeith is to catch out the medevacs and catch out drop play, but here he's just walking across the map. He's not dropping. Medevacs will arrive, but we'll see if the stars align. Like, there's a chance, like, if Cure picks up these Marines into the medevac to drop into the main base and runs into the Scourge and loses everything, like, I mean, Rumeith can bounce back. But, like, again, everything has to line up for that to happen. Yeah, Kiri, he's just pushing it. Again, he cannot lift, he cannot pick up. Nice kiting, medevacs go down, but the Marines, they just stand strong. Yeah, they just stand strong, they just stim and win. GG gets called, and Kiri ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We're going to game 3 again. Just a really rough start for Rumeith. He was so greedy. He was so greedy in his response. Remember, he went lair first. He scouted the build. He still went lair first. He went for the double spine crawler, sorry, double sunken colony. But as we pointed out, there was an opening. There was an opening regardless of the colonies. There was a way straight into the natural and main base mineral line, almost as if the colonies weren't even there to begin with. And he delayed link speed, so there was just more time where the Reapers could just wreak havoc and get damage done. Really rough start there for Rumeith. He fell behind, he stayed behind. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into our next matchup. We're getting into the final game here of the series, the ace match. Let's go. Game 3 is going to be on Sylphid. Oh, here we go. Side defense is too static. True. Oh no. Oh, like this. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg being forced into the ace match and opting to play SC2 Zerg. It is Rumeith. And spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the Brood War Terran player rocking up with Brood War Terran for the first time in this group. We have the South Korean Terran for Team Liquid. It is Cure. Go. As welcome one more to Sylphid. Sylphid, of course, is a 3-player spawn map. You can spawn in top side, left side, and right side, and we have a drone scout out of Rumeith. Drone scouts are very uncommon, but I feel like on maps like this, where there are multiple spawn locations, there's a little bit more rationale behind going for the drone scout. As Rumeith, he will poke in, he will confirm that Cure is nowhere to be found. Confirm. And we'll see how Cure handles himself with Brood War Terran. As we mentioned previously, at least in the round of 28, I believe Cure lost every game that he played Brood War Terran. I believe he lost every game. And he did rely heavily on his SE2 Terran to carry him through the group stage. What I will say is that's why Game 1 was so important. Game 1, what happened? Cure lost with SE2 Terran. He lost the game where he was playing StarCraft 2. That was a big blow for Cure, and that might have cost him the series. But we'll see. For now, we do see the drone scouts. That does confirm 2 Raxes. Do we go 3 Rax Stim? I'm leaning towards that. I want to say that Gumiho was also going for that opener every now and then, so it looks like it is a style that is known amongst the players, even Cure and Gumiho. Rumeith opening up gases. So that is a hatch before pool, before gas. So very greedy build here by Rumeith. Very greedy. So delayed gases, delayed link speed, delayed tech. Meanwhile, Academy is on the way. So we are rushing into Stim. is Cure gonna do this with 2 Raxes and not with a 3rd? Let's see. As I believe he should already have a 3rd Rax by now. Yeah, I think he's freestyling a little bit. Okay, so we got 2 Rax Stim on the way, we got a Medic on the way, we got a Firebat as well, so it feels like we're freestyling a little bit. This is a bit of a less refined variation of 3 Rax Stim. We're getting there in the end, but okay, getting 4 Raxes behind this. But it's again a little bit more, it feels like a little bit more off the cuff. Cure did SEV scouts, but it looks like he didn't check for the 3rd, he didn't check for gases, so he doesn't know how greedy his opponent's been. Because that there's no need to rush into an early Firebat and early Medic, because there's nothing to pressure him, right? There's no link speed. There's no link, oh right, no link speed. Roach Warren is going to be thrown down, so it's going to be a Roach defense. Rumeith is looking fine. I mean, off of a Gaseous Opener makes sense. Gaseous Opener into Roaches. Just skipping link speed entirely. Rumeith, he has the tools to defend, I should say that. He has the tools. We're able to a 5 Rax setup here for Cure. 5 Rax Mass Marine. I say Mass Marine, 5 Rax Mass Bio, because we have a couple of Firebats in the mix. Medics, Marines. Because we're getting into this much production, this is going to hit later. We have a bit of supply block here as well. Oh, God. We have a supply block. We'll delay Cure even further. We can't call down supply, Bobby. Not here. But we'll see if Cure can kind of Frankenstein his way into a win. It's still possible. That's a lot of medics. Jesus. Now, this is so unfortunate. Now we have the scan. So, Cure, he's going Mass Firebat. Remember, he never scouted. He just scouted with the scan. He doesn't know that it was gasless. He doesn't know that it's not Ling defense. If he was up against Mass Zergling and Ling Bane, then sure, this would work. But he's up against Roaches. Firebat's going to be less effective here. So, it's a little bit unfortunate as to how he's setting up, but we'll see. Sure, Firebats can tank, I suppose. But again, the Roach Queen is in position. Cure, now he knows. Now he's aware. I mean, he saw the main base earlier. He saw the lair timing. He saw the lack of gas. So that was a tell. Now getting into U238 shells. +1. Cure rotates, but Rumeith, he should be fine. Like, this army shouldn't be able to get any economic damage. Now, my big concern here is... I was going to say my big concern would be the Roach counterattack, but Rumeith did cut workers early. It looks like he respected this quite a bit, so the drone count is actually quite low for Rumeith. Rumeith a little bit out of position. Where's Roach speed? The lair is done. Uh-oh. Roach speed is delayed. There we go, Roach speed is now starting. Army does step in. Do we have a transfuse? No transfuse. Okay, Queen unable to transfuse in time. A couple of boys are being pulled. And Rumeith, he will hold, but this was a bit of a messy defense here. That was 10 drones going down. He lost all the Queens despite having some transfuse available. So the control not quite there. Cure, not a bad trade. And remember, the drone count was low to begin with. Oof. So Cure, he can pull this off. Can pull this off. As he did lose all of his Firebats, but now he's got his Mass Marine that he did hold on to. Factories are on the way. Siege mode being researched, of course. 3rd TC in production as well. Cure, he's getting into this. Getting into this quite nicely. Whereas it feels like Rumeith is struggling. Again, just the low economy here is really hurting him. He's getting spine crawlers as well. It does feel like Rumeith is being outscaled. Marines, they rush in. Rumeith pushing forward. He gets on top of the Marines. But with these reinforcements, Cure, does he have enough? Cure. It's close. Yeah, it's close. It looks like Kira will kill all these roaches. Down to 3 roaches. Down to 2. Down to 1. Down to 0. Every roach goes down. Tanks are moving in. And again, Rumeith, he can't afford these losses here. His drone count is just so low. He's barely hanging on here with his reinforcements. Rumeith is still trading. It feels like quite poorly here. Irradiate's on the way. Kiri's just rallying. He's just rallying across with a more efficient army. 2 more seconds. He's holding onto that irradiate. Doesn't want to waste it. Once again, he resets the roach count. There are no Ravagers or no Biles. I mean, Rumeith can't afford it. Let's irradiate. This roach count might be enough to get on top of the tanks. Oh, good. God, they clump up so much. Yeah, the roaches clump up. The tank lorries are brutal. And I want to say that Cure has broken Rumeith. He's running into Marines, though. Okay. Running into Marines. Barely does it get on top of the tank. Barely not. As you see, Rumeith trying to catch reinforcements. Not bad. Comes from behind, gets a couple of Marines. Does force Cure to turn back around. This is going to give him some breathing room. So Roach, they get across the map. Cure again, he's he's racing back home. Finally alleviating some pressure. So yeah, the roaches are being cleaned up regardless. Being cleaned up. Curie's establishing himself, skating, trying to figure out the economic game state. Rumeith still has some droning to do. He's still stuck on roaches. Not even Roach Ravager. And again, the reason for that is he can't afford it. You can see the bank here. Like, there is no gas bank. Rumeith, he's spending everything he can on roaches. Oh, we got the 1 Ravager. Let's go. Oh god, no, don't go into the tanks. Yeah, he's pushing into the tank line. That's going to be brutal. Irradiate on the roaches, and every roach is going to go down. Yeah, Kira, he will take it. He shuts down the main army, completely cleans it up, and now it is go time. Rumeith, he moved into 5 tanks. Oh god. And Cure, let's go. Looking to win with Brood War. With Brood War Terran. Again, he kind of Frankensteined his way into it. It does feel like Rumeith, in a way, maybe panicked a little bit. But his early game was really rough. It was just a really rough early game for Rumeith. He under-droned, then he lost a lot of workers, so he just fell behind economically. He never had an economic lead. Never had that stable setup. Roaches are being chased down. Yeah, and this should be the final army here for Rumeith. He shouldn't be able to afford much else. He's just trying to trickle out a couple of roaches. We have the infestation bit on the way. working towards, I would imagine, a Hydra Lurker tech, but it's so far away. Moving the snipers. And GG gets called, and Cure, he will claim the series. He will pop up, will take down Rumeith 2-1 and advance on to the winners match. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Cure. He will claim the series. If you recall, I was most curious about how Cure would perform with Brood War Terran, and it was interesting. It does feel like he kind of like freestyled it a little bit when it came to his build, when it came to the opener, but we saw despite the freestyling of Cure, Rumeith had a really shaky early game as well. Was very shaky, really low drone counts, early roach production. He pulled the boys early as well, so he lost 10 workers. He fell behind economically, he stayed behind economically. It did feel like after the first attack from Cure, Rumeith was on the back foot. Rumeith, he was on the back foot the entire game after that first Firebat attack, and GG, well played. With that, Cure does snowball out of control, does claim the win, and Cure does advance on to that winners match. And we have it ready for you here. We have the winners match. It's going to be a best of 3 between Cure and Classic. Oh boy, and we'll see how Cure can handle himself against Classic here. I mean, again, Classic is coming in as the favorite player amongst all of the players in this group. We're expecting him to make it through, but that's also why I'm excited to see how Cure can fare against a player that's a little bit more comfortable, that's a little bit more in form, that's definitely a little more well-versed in StarCraft Evolution. Let's go. Let us go. Let's go. As we are getting into our next game and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Magnatha, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic, the Brood War Protoss player. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is a Cure. Feeling okay, like, I'm dying. One moment, actually. Un momento. Okay, we're good. Whew. Okay, we are good to go. Here we go. For the time being, we do have our openers here. Looks like we didn't really miss anything. Double gas open out of Cure, going into a faster factory, and likewise Classic going for his own standard opener as well. So we are good to go. When it comes to the map itself, welcome to Magnatha. Magnatha is one of the larger maps, always the largest map in the map pool. Longest rush distance by ground, so we do have more space in between us. We can get into a more longer standard game state. Now, something that I should remind everyone, if you recall, we spoke about this at the start of the broadcast. Cure, he has been playing around with mech quite a bit. We saw mech against Zerg earlier, which was no surprise, but on top of that, we have seen Cure play a lot of mech against Protoss as well. It is very map dependent. On smaller maps, Cure, he does enjoy playing mech on Pylon, for example, and he also has embraced mech on some of these larger maps like Tokamak and like Magnatha as well. We'll be getting further into it if we do embrace mech here, but again, I'm not putting it off the table. For now, though, we do have our Adolsop here. It is going to be the early Cyclone and CC on the low ground. No Marauder. Reaver breaks out. Reaver does pull away. We're now Cure getting to zone 111. into a setup. And we're expecting a Robo and a Bay, and we're expecting Reaver drops out of Classic. Is what we're expecting. If you recall, we were actually talking about this in Classic Series against HonMonO, but HonMonO's match was so fast that we never got there. It never really got there, really. The games were so short. There we go, there's the Robo, into Bay, into Reaver drop. Just to re-emphasize the kind of importance of this build, one of the reasons why it's so prevalent isn't because it keeps you safe, isn't because it allows you to harass, but also because it allows you to scout. Scouting is a little more difficult here for Brutal Protoss, just because there's no hallucination, just because there's no sentry, of course. So it's a good way to get across the map to get a read on the opener of the build, the production, the economy of your opponent, and harass at the same time. As the Cyclone does catch 2 workers, does pull away. And Cure, it looks like he is going into Hyperflight Rotors. This has been trendy as of late, going Hyperflight Rotors instead of Cloak, just so you can have more micro potential. Go in, get a couple of probe kills, pull away, pull back in, rotate between the bases, and deal insane harassing damage. Especially against Mass Dragoon, I feel like that has potential. But now Dragoons are poking at the front door. They knock down the initial bunker. The tank is in position though. He's going for the tank. Yeah, does go for the dive. He loses 1. 2 Dragoons. 2 Dragoons do go down. But Classic, he wants to overwhelm. And without a bunker, without a tank, he can. He can overwhelm. Takes over the natural. The Banshee is revealed. Ooh, going for the tank. One of the Dragoons getting very low. Dragoons getting low, tank does siege, and with that, Cure holds. Whew, Cure, he does hold on. The purpose here to tank a shot, but I feel like we can't really dive in. Oh, miss rally. Yeah, miss rally out of Classic. But from here, he's containing. He does delay Cure's move out. Dragoons, they pick up a couple of Marines. Oh. As the Dragoon goes down, bit of miscontrol from Classic. Does get the bunker. And Curie just wants to move out. Just wants to move out. We have the Citadel on the way, so we're going into a Zealot composition follow-up. I was assuming it was going to be a Robo into Bay into Reaver drop. That is not the case. We're going to a Mass Gateway composition instead, going Mass Dragoon into Mass Zealot with Zealot legs. Let's go. And we'll see if he can keep up with Cure. The downside, of course, he knows about the Banshee, but he doesn't know if anything was being researched, and we'll see if he can keep up. Meanwhile, no surprise, Mech. Yeah, Mech is on the way. There's a reason why we brought it up at the start of the game, at the start of the series even. So Cure is making it up. Again, if you've been watching Cure in StarCraft 2, you'll know that he does do this, like in regular StarCraft 2. He has been playing a lot of Mech. As I mentioned, it is more map dependent, which is why we brought up specifically Pylon, Maganatha, and Tokamak. Depending on the map, he is more prone to going to Mech. As it has been a little more meta ever since EWC, basically. Ever since EWC. So we are building up. And we're going to slow things down. Now, the Observer for Classic has yet to go in. If we can call Mech from Cure, then so can Classic, right? Classic, unlike Rumeith, Classic, he is well versed in SE2 as well. He's been playing and competing against Cure over the past couple of months, so he knows what he's capable of. Has yet to confirm the production. And hasn't seen too much to confirm it is Mech. Banshees do move in. To the mineral line and getting 3 probe kills. Oh, so far still not worth it here for Cure. Banshees are being chased down. And when it comes to a versus Mech composition, I do feel like you do want to go for this Mass Gateway style anyway. Mass Zealots, we have Dragoons into ideally Storm, I feel. Like Storm and High Templar. We have seen Storm pop off against Battle Mech before. But we'll see what Classic settles on. Well, speaking of, he has not researched Storm yet, but High Templar on the way. So he's building up Templar. He can morph in Archons at least. I'm hoping we haven't forgotten. Oh, no, it's queued up again. Storm is queued up after Kadar and Amulet. It's on the way. That's Curious setting up. Observer's seen enough. He's seen enough at this point, he knows. And Storm is going to be crucial here. And Classic, he doesn't want to engage yet. The tanks are sieged. Classic out of range of the tanks. It was away at the base. Classic going for the gold, okay. And we'll get into the mineral line. He's going for the CC. Can he get it? Oh, one more volley. One more volley. The CC does go down. The repairs are too late. Ay, ay, ay. That should not have happened. Cure was in position. He was here. The army was right next to the CC, but barely out of range with the tanks and didn't really respect the army enough. Ay, ay, ay. That should not have happened. And suddenly Cure down to 2 bases while playing mech. He needs that third. Meanwhile, something that I glossed over, but I should mention, you might be thinking to yourself, like, hold on. Were the gold bases, were the gold minerals always there? The answer is no. This is a unique feature here to Maganatha. This is the StarCraft Evolution version of Maganatha, so there are some slight adjustments to the map. There are some adjustments. Banshee speed before cloak? Yes, that's become more standard nowadays in StarCraft 2. Where you go Banshee speed not before cloak, you go Banshee speed instead of cloak. Storms are ready. But again, pushing the siege line is not going to be easy. And we shouldn't. Yeah, Classic, you should not move in. Banshees, they do hit across the map. These Banshees, they can do an amazing job when it comes to sniping high-tech units like High Templar. They're harassing, of course, as well. So one Banshee goes down. Army moves in. Pushing into the siege line. Storm, some of them do connect, but oh god, the tank boys are brutal and so many High Templar go down. That was not worth it. As a Classic, he will lose every High Templar. He gave Cure what he wanted. Cure, he wanted Classic to push into him, and he did. Pushed into the tank line. So Classic, he will lose the army. We have attempted Sky Toss on the way. But Cure, he has gained momentum. He's moving out. He is moving out. Catching out the Dragoons. And he will break the expansion. That's going to be 12 probes falling. He will break the Nexus. And Curie has momentum. He has momentum. As he's pushing through and as he's breaking down the space, we do see Classic going for a counterattack. Trying to hit the third. I mean, the third is exposed. There's nothing here. Uh-oh. Deals Dragoon, man. The Dragoon was trapped. Classic, he does rotate around. Does some counterattack. Tanks are on siege. Now it's this time. Yeah, this time the tanks are on siege. Dragoons move in. High Templar, they're trying to get on top of this. The storms, they will land. Yeah, beautiful storms here. The tanks will fall. And Classic, he cleans up the army. He cleans up the army entirely here. And unlike Classic, Cure, that was an expensive army. He cannot replace it anywhere near as easily. Cure lost all the tanks, lost all the Cyclones. That was a brutal fight. And now everything swings heavily in favor of Classic. GG gets called. one and done there for Cure, and Classic will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, Cure, that was a very expensive army that he had, and once he lost it, he had nothing left. He had nothing left. Again, it takes so long to rebuild a mech army. One bad fight, and that can cost you the game. GG. GG, well played. It also helped as well that Cure had no 4th CC either, so he had no economy to sustain himself. That specifically came down to the fact that he lost his 3rd base earlier. Remember, because he lost his 3rd, that meant that his 4th and the rest of his economy was also delayed, so he was much more committed, much more all-in than he otherwise needed to be. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Very intense game 1, and now we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. For the first time tonight, we're going to be loading into Blue Storm. Beautiful. As spawning in the bottom hand corner of Blue Storm, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Virtus Pro, leading the series 1-0. It is Classic. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the Broodwar Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is a Cure. Here we go, and once again, I'm really curious to see how he does handle himself with Broodwar Terran. I do favor Classic coming into this, coming into the series in general here, but we'll see, because Cure, he was able to pop off against Rumeith earlier, was very impressive. We'll see if he can do so here as well. I mean, part of that game against Rumeith was also Rumeith's response and his reaction and his own failings as well, his own stumblings. I think Cure was able to capitalize on. I'm less certain that he would do that, or he would be able to accomplish that here against Classic, but we'll see. We shall see. Classic does move in. Also, welcome one and all to Blue Storm. Blue Storm is a very unique map, and I personally am very fond of Blue Storm as well. A lot of nostalgia, on Blue Storm. But the natural base is actually on the low ground. There's a very narrow ramp coming into the natural here, which can be walled off with a singular pylon, for example. So very, very narrow entrance. Instead, we can gain access on the right-hand side with a ramp coming down into the natural. So it can be difficult to make a defense here. Not impossible, but difficult. Likewise, your 3rd base also on the low ground. Low ground 3rd base, low ground 4th. We have just so many layers of elevation here going further up and further up until this point. So some of these bases can be more difficult to maintain against earlier game aggression. Likewise, though, we also have some room in the main base to drop. We do have a massive kind of alcove here in the main base we can make use of. We have a Reaper cliff. We have a nice drop space. We'll see if we can get there. Shall see. Likewise, we have destructible towers in the center. We have likewise more high ground as well in the center. Massive high ground. High ground matters that much more. We actually never got to speak about it. I guess it never really factored into any of these games so far, just because it had been a little bit faster. But high ground is even more important and even more valuable in StarCraft Evolution, just because there is a mischance. Attacking up a ramp, you do have a chance to miss. I think it's just under 50%. It's like 46% or something. Chance to miss. So high ground is more important, more valuable, more crucial. As we have our Twilight Council opener, standard opener here out of Classic, getting into Blink, I would imagine. I can also go into Charge, that's also a viable option. But we're expecting Blink. Okay, Blink is on the way. Oh, hello. Cure going into a factory machine shop into a fast armory, and the armory does allow for fast Goliath production.
SCP good to go, sir.
Okay, interesting. We have seen Kiwian and maybe another Terran player as well. Whenever they play mech, they open up like Vulture and then they go into the armory, into the Goliath. This feels really early, but the purpose of that is to defend against like an Oracle opener, like a Stargate, if there was a Stargate opener. To defend against an Oracle, but this is early, so this is a little bit different. So a much earlier Goliath, and you can see he's getting in position to defend against Oracles, to defend against Skytos. Into factory, yep, into mech. Okay, so we are making it up. again, makes sense just because of the setup for the Goliath. Of course, as we know, like the Goliaths, they were a little bit unnecessary just because there's no need for them. Because there's no Stargate. But Cure just playing very safe. Playing very safe here. As we have the Goliath upgrade. As the hallucination goes down. Robo's on the way. Clash is just enjoying his third base. Really expanding. Getting vision. There is an alleyway here that goes behind the third and can lead into the natural, so we can see Classic just getting vision of the alleyway. And Classic, he's played on Bluestone before. He knows. He knows, baby. He knows. So the Forge on the way for +1. Is moving in. We'll take down the bunker. Bunker does fall. Nothing major yet. You see Cure just fully setting up his tanks. Just turtled up on 2 bases. With Blink, can we blink into the main? Can we reach? Okay, let's go for it. But he does get the 3rd CC, so he knows. He knows there's no 2-base all in. He sees the setup. There's no need for Classic to push into the tanks. Does see the oh, sorry, that was the siege. Oh no, sorry, that was the unsiege. Yeah, it does unsiege. And he will get a tank. Nice pickup. Cure, he should be aware that something's wrong, but Cure, he does not have any detection. He has no comsat station, as he has no academy. That might also be a slip up. That is a mistake that some Terrans do make. Oh, sorry, it looks like he did have one. There we go. Oh, sorry, there it is. Academy is done. Now we have the comsat station on the way. Now he's getting his turrets. He knows that he needs that detection. He knows that there is an observer. There's an observer. So he's getting ready for that. Oh, he scans. Doesn't quite catch the observer. So we'll drop into the main base. We spoke about this little alcove in the main. We did speak on it. Does distract. And again, all the Classic is doing is containing. Behind this, 3rd base fully operational. 4th base getting up and running as well. Like, Classic's just getting further ahead. It's getting further ahead. The pressure right now is on Cure to expand. Speaking of, he is moving out to expand. We see Classic rotating. The Observer does spot the expansion on the way, so he knows. So he blinks into the main. Remember, he can always recall. Can always recall back home. Clearing up those turrets. Blinking back out. And we're getting to Skytoss. Jesus. Stargates all the way. I mean, hey, Classic is playing this out just like he plays SC2. Like, if he ever sees an opening, he will go into Skytoss in PvT. Is his go-to. And anti-air is lacking for Cure. He's got mass tanks, mass tank Vulture. He does have a couple of Goliaths from the early game, but those are the only guys he ever made. And Cure, he has gotten his 3rd finally up and running. But Classic is still in control. Zelta into the middle line, they force some friendly fire. Oof. 3 SCVs going down, 4 SCVs even catching one of the tanks. Storm is ready. Oh, as Classic does overextend. At the same time, though, Zelta drop into the main. Remember earlier, the turrets were cleaned up, going for a massive warp in. And Kira's just being torn apart. And do we even get to see Skytoss? Do we even get to see carriers? The fleet beacon is done, +1 is finishing up as well, but Kira, he is struggling here. Yeah, losing tanks, losing SCVs, losing everything. The army races back home. We can see Classic trying to set up. Headed for the middle line, coming in from that alleyway. We spoke earlier how Classic was so quick to wall up this area and to get vision. And Kira has nothing here. Oh, the storms! Oh, massive storms! No reaction out of Kira. 40 SCVs go down. Insane damage. Ay, ay, ay. And that's too much. There's no mining. There's nothing at the natural, nothing in the main base, nothing at the third. 0 income. Oof. As we're just now trying to resaturate that natural. Brutal losses here for Kira. Oh, we do have a minefield. We do have a minefield to work with at least. It's almost pure High Templar here, but he will storm the Vultures. Vultures get cleaned up. It was an expensive trade for a Classic, as they did lose some of those High Templar. Plus 2 High Templar going down. But Classic is looking perfectly fine here. Still has the Observer in the bases. Still sees all. Kira's down to 43 SCVs. His main army is quite robust. He's got a lot of tanks, and if he ever does fight head-on, like Kira, he can maybe take a fight if he's pre-sieged. But even then. And it looks like we will see the Skytoss. So carriers are amassing. You have 2 more carriers on the way, getting to 5 in total. And remember, what shoots up? 2 Goliaths. This is the only anti-air outside of site defense, right? Outside of the turrets. So turrets and 2 Goliaths. That's all we got. That's all Kira has. As Classic is taking every base on the map. Skipping one over. Yep, scan reveals Skytoss. Now Kira knows Goliath production has begun. So nice scouts out of Kira, but at this point it should be too late. Because Classic is maxed. Classic is maxed out. He is distracted by the Vultures. Carriers are revealed. And now Kira, now he understands, now he sees just how much Skytoss there is already. But Classic is taking his time. He's taking his time. He's been maxed for a while now. And he's allowing Kira to build up turrets, to build up Goliaths. He's allowing Kira to have a defense. As he's making 6 Goliaths at a time. Now you could argue that like it doesn't really matter. Like Classic is far enough ahead where there is no rush. Goliaths are good. Are they that good? It's a good amount of Goliaths now. Remember, there were 2, now up to 15. Ooh, no detection. Where are the observers? There's 1 observer. Oh, does recoil into the main? Oh, recoils into the main base of the mothership. Going for the main, he's sending it. Goliaths, they try to respond. The Immortals, they hold their own. They shut down the Goliaths. And Classic is going for the kill. This is the kill move. Just going straight for the production. Straight for the heart of the Terran. Boys are being pulled. The Goliaths, it looks like they might get 1 carrier. Oh, not even the carrier does get away. And with that Prism, Classic can just keep reinforcing. There we go, 1 carrier goes down, but GG gets called. Classic will take the series 2-0, advancing on out of the group stage into the playoffs. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Classic, as does claim the series. Again, he came in as the favorite player for the entire group, maybe even the favorite player for the entire tournament. So came in as a heavy hitter here, and Kira, he was able to hold his own somewhat. He had some moments here in game 1 and game 2, but overall Classic was looking a little bit more comfortable. I would say that game 1 was the closest up until that final fight, of course. We saw that Classic had a really bad fight pushing into a siege line, losing all of his high Templar, losing a lot of momentum. It allowed Kure to break out and take down bases, but if you remember, Kure, he was stuck on 3 expansions. Like, he didn't have a robust economy to sustain himself, so he was essentially all in. When he lost his army, that was game. That was game then and there. Here we saw that Kure, he was just playing it very slow, and he was stuck on 2 bases for a long time. Stuck on 2 bases, then stuck on 3 bases. He had a really hard time expanding, he had a really hard time breaking out. This is one of the downsides of this kind of style that Kure was going for. It's very immobile as well, and Classic was doing a great job at abusing that immobility. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, we are nearing the end of the broadcast. We're nearing the end of the broadcast here. Let's catch up on the rest of the group. Let's catch up on those results as we can switch our scenes over and head on over here to the group where we do have our first matches wrapping up. We had Classic took down HonMonO 2-0, Kure took down Rumeith 2-1, and then we had Classic advancing on to the playoffs over Kure. So GG well played. Classic does take down Kure, does advance on to the playoffs. And meanwhile, we have 2 series left. We have the elimination match between HonMonO and Rumeith. We have a TVZ between those 2 players, and then the winner up against Kure in a best of 5, not a best of 3 decider match. So we have 2 series remaining here in the group. We are going to be going on a short break, and when we return, we will have the remainder of the group. We'll have HonMonO versus Rumeith. Let's go. Until then, though, we're going to be going on a short break. We'll see you guys soon in a couple of minutes. See you soon. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OOC as we returned. We returned here with our second last series of the broadcast. We returned with the elimination match. We've been going through Group C here of the StarCraft Evolution League Championship Season 2 round of 16, and we already have Classic. Classic is advanced on in first place out of the group. The question becomes, who will advance on in second place? We do have 3 players remaining. We have HonMonO, Rumeith, and Cure. And we're going to slowly be eliminating these players to determine the final player to make it through into the playoffs. Let's go. Up first, we have a TVZ between Rumeith and HonMonO. Let's go. As we are jumping in. First things first, we have our TVZ. Going to be loading into Maganatha. Here we go, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the blue Zerg player. We have the StarCraft 2 Zerg. It is Rumeith. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. Here we go. Just had a huge amount of choc chip orange ice cream. Ah, let's go. Oh, the ice cream. I will be having breakfast after the cast. We got a lot of work to do. Gotta clean up. For now, though, we do have our rack set up here on the low ground. Okay, yeah, my attention. Now, once again, welcome one to Maganatha, one of the larger maps in the map pool, but also welcome, and let me introduce you to HonMonO. If you're unfamiliar, HonMonO is a hyper-aggressive player. I would say he is the cheesiest Terran player in all of South Korea, 100%. We saw him earlier just non-stop attempt to all-in, classic all-in, and fail. Here, we'll see how aggressive we're going to be. Now, I will say that HonMonO is typically very cheesy and very all-in against Protoss players. He's a little bit more standard against Zerg players. A little bit more. For the time being, we do have a 2-rack setup. We could still go for a 3rd racks and pull the boys and commit into an all-in. HonMonO, though, should be expanding behind this. We'll keep an eye on it. As Marines are amassing, SEV moves out. SEV moves out for scouts. Gas is on the way. So, interesting 2-racks opener here out of HonMonO. Interesting. The drone is going to be locked in. Locks in the drone. Hatch gas full. Standard opener out of Rumeith. Oh, he actually made that just to wall off. And he's going for the academy and one base all in. One base all in out of HonMonO. He throws down the academy, throws down a 3rd rack. See, he is setting up everything on a 1 base setup, rushing into Sim, rushing into Mass Marine, and he can pull the boys with this. He may choose to pull the boys. Yeah, that's HonMonO for you. Aye. So we are setting up. Nice catch on the Overlord, by the way, as the Overlord is not actually out of vision. Oof. Overlord goes down, supply blocks Rumeith. A very rough start here for our Zerg player. Aye. That should not have happened. Overlord goes down. Rumeith, he actually can't make anything here. He's going into a 3rd expansion. He does have link speed at least on the way, but Rumeith, he has not seen what's going on. Without that, Overlord doesn't just supply block here, but he doesn't get into the main. He doesn't scout the main base. He doesn't realize what's going on. And he's droning. Yeah, Rumeith is droning on up. HonMonO, he will soon pull the trigger. Stim is almost done. Medics are on the way. And soon it's going to be all or nothing for HonMonO. That's go time. Here we go. It is go time. The boys are being pulled. Does pull almost every single boy. Does leave 6 SEVs back at home. 6 SEVs stay back. HonMonO, he commits. And the Overlord confirms no base. Okay, so Rumeith, he confirms no expansion. We have Queens on the way. We have a Baneliness on the way. No Spinecrawler, though. Yeah, no Spinecrawler. It's going to be Vanilla Lings. I mean, they're going to have speed. Yeah, speed links to defend and a handful of Queens. Marines, they stim in. There's 3 Queens here to hold on to. Soon to have a 4th Queen. The boys are here. Banelings are on the way, but they might just never finish. There's a first stim. Yes, and then he stims in, gets up the queens, denies one of the banelings. There's 2 banelings left. 2 what? 0 banelings. We have more banelings on the high ground, but the queens get surrounded, and Rumeith, he has nothing left. He's losing every single queen, every single zergling. Banelings, they will finish morphing in, but that's what the boys are for. Oof, yeah, banelings get wasted. They get wasted on the boys. They detonate on a handful of marines. That's not going to be enough. Hey, that's not good enough. More banelings morphing in. They're trying to. Marines, they get into the mineral line. Nice kiting. Avoids a surround. And GG gets called. HonMonO, he will overwhelm. He will take game number 1. Whew. GG. HonMonO popping off with the 1 base all in. Unfortunately, again, Rumeith, he was working with incomplete information. Rumeith, he had no idea what exactly was going on. Ay, ay, ay. Didn't see, didn't know, didn't scout. And with that, HonMonO did snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. Again, sniping that first overlord was a huge moment. It was a huge moment for HonMonO, where he was able to deny vision, deny scouting, supply block as well. Rumeith, he was just blindly droning. And now we're getting into game 2. We're getting into game 2 and spawning on the top side of Purity and Industry. We have the blue Zerg player, we have the blue Zerg player himself. Rocking SE2 once again, it is Rumeith. And spawning in the bottom side of Purity Industry, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. Here we go. Now, just because HonMonO went for a 1 base all in game 1 doesn't mean he has to in game 2. As we mentioned before, HonMonO, he is the cheesiest Terran player in all of South Korea. That is true. That is true, 100%. But he has a lot of layers to his cheese. There are 1 base all ins, 2 base all ins, proxies, of course, proxy everything, proxy 111. But so far, it looks like the same build. So far, 2 Raxes on the low ground. So far, the setup is the same, but the follow-up may be a little bit different here. It's going to be up to Rumeith to determine. Now, the plus side is that there is a much easier way into the main. Here you have all this airspace to make use of, to keep your overlord alive, to go into the base, and to get a full scout. So it should be maybe a little bit easier here to confirm what's going on. We'll see. It's going to be up to HonMonO to deny the scout. See if he can deny. Oh, CC on location. Okay, so we have the 2x opener, but this time we're actually expanding. So again, HonMonO, he's expanding, he's getting a natural base. As we mentioned, he doesn't have to 1 base all in, but he can 2 base all in. So that's currently what's on my mind. So my eyes are open for, say, another second, third, sorry, a third, a fourth, fifth racks. It's like a 5 rack setup into a 2 base all in. We'll see where he takes us. Okay, there's the 3rd racks. This might just be 3 rack stim, as he's fanning out his marines. He's hunting for overlords, hunting for anything and any free damage. Speaking of, he will split the links. As did I see more Raxes. Okay, so we have a 4 rack setup here out of HonMonO. He does find an overlord. Oof. He will supply block Rumeith. So Rumeith is supply blocked. Once again, he's going to be working with a little bit less scouting information. Academy's on the way. We have the overlords right outside the main. And that is a 5th Rax. He may cancel this, bearing in mind he will have to lift this, lift one of the racks to actually move out. Medic production's underway, and he may pull the boys once again. Just because of the amount of production that he has. I don't think he has an intention to take up even further, but we'll keep an eye on HonMonO. Meanwhile, Rumeith back at home, he is taking extra gases. He's going for an earlier Bailey nest, a much earlier Bailey nest from Rumeith. He's doing an earlier lair as well. Interesting. Staying on a low drone count. But this time, Rumeith, it looks like he should have some Baileys to defend. It'll be close. Oh, that wasn't a full wall. Okay, my mistake. Wasn't a full waller. So again, we're just waiting for stim, and then we can move out. I wouldn't be opposed to HonMonO sprinkling in a couple of fire bats, but again, it's all on one gas. So he has very limited gas income. So early Bailey nest, early lair into early bailing speed. So we're rushing into bailing speed here as quickly as possible. Here comes the move out, and do we pull the boys? That's my big question. So we have 3 bailings morphing in. U2 3HLs are being researched. Okay, we're going for a later upgrade. There's a scan, reveals the bailings. Bailings are done. HonMonO throws down 2 more Raxes. 3, Jesus, oh my god. So HonMonO, he pokes in, he pokes out, he pulls away, and behind this we're going up to from a 4 rack setup into a 7 rack setup. So it's going to be a 2 base 7 racks all in. I don't think we can afford an 8th racks. I don't think we have the production for, sorry, the economy for that. But regardless, we're choosing not to expand, choosing not to get a factory, a starport, or a command center. And the changeling will confirm everything. So the changeling does confirm. HonMonO is aware. Oh, sorry, Rumeith is aware of what HonMonO is up to. And all that Rumeith has to do here is just focus on army production. Don't drone. Don't drone up any further from here. We're up to 55 workers already. Just focus on purely Ling Bane and Queens. Just focus on Ling Bane army, and Rumeith, he should be fine. Speaking of, HonMonO doesn't extend. Yeah, getting caught out. A lot of medics do fall. Here come the boys. The boys have been pulled. Again, it's all or nothing for HonMonO. How many bailings are left? 5. 5 bailings remaining. That's not a lot of bailings. And again, that's what the SCVs are for. Again, they hit a tank. 3 bailings left. Oh, 0 bailings. Oh no. Rumeith. He has a handful of bailings remaining. They need to connect. If they don't, that's going to be game. Bailings rolling in, nice spread, very nice spread, and bailing. Nah, they don't connect. They do not connect. HonMonO, he's done it. He has broken Rumeith. 0 good connections, and without bailing connections, there is no defense here. As HonMonO, he will catch out the queens, he will catch out the overlords, the drones, the everything. There are 10 more bailings morphing in. True, there's still a chance. There's still a chance here with these 10 bailings. There's still hope. Up. And HonMonO, a bit of a panic spread. Panic a little bit, doesn't buy some of those bailings. Once again, they roll in. They're not connecting though. Yeah, the spread is too good. He spreads, baby. GG gets called, and HonMonO, he will pop off with the 2 base all in with the 7 racks, and he will claim the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. HonMonO, he does claim that series. He does advance on. Again, my condolences to Rumeith. He did have a really good showing against Kior, but here against HonMonO, it does seem like he was a little more uncomfortable when it came to early game defense. I mean, we saw that against Cure as well, if you remember. We saw that in the Ace match against Cure, where he did have a really hard time kind of determining when to drone, when not to drone, when to focus on roach production as well. Here, likewise, a Ling Bane defense is really difficult compared to a roach defense, just because if your bailings don't connect, you don't defend. Like, it's it's a much more difficult defense there for Rumeith, and he was not able to pull it off. In the end, he was shut down. GG. GG, well played. HonMonO popping off with the 2 base all in, and with that, we have our winners match ready. Oh boy. we have our winners match. It's going to be a TVT between HonMonO and Cure. But not just a TVT, it's going to be a TVT best of 5. Best of 5 matchup here, not a best of 3. So we have potentially more games ahead of us. Or we have more games ahead of us, but we might have even more. Hoping for a longer series. Now, what I will say is that HonMonO, he is hyper cheesy. That is true. Mainly against Protoss, a little bit against Zerg. Typically, HonMonO doesn't cheese in TVT. He typically plays standard, plays normal, and we might actually have a really nice, like, kind of mid to late game TVT here between HonMonO and Cure. I'm looking forward to it. But again, we're down to our final 2 players here. Rumeith is out of StarCraft Evolution. He is out, and now we're down to our last 2 Terrans. One of them makes it through. Let's find out who. Let us find out who. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Magnatha, we have the Brood War Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran himself, representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. We have our series, we have our best of 5, we have our TVT. You don't need Stargate with medics. You don't. You also don't need a third base. True. But now that we are going to be settling in, Cure, he's going to be a lot more comfortable here, and he's going to be favored with when he's rocking the StarCraft 2 Terran race, 100%. When it comes to our TVTs, Cure, he has been one to embrace mech, of course. We already saw Cure play mech against Zerg, we saw him play mech against Protoss, and we're expecting mech at some point here against Terran as well. Cure, I'm not saying that he'll play mech every game, not at all. He's not one to play mech every game, but he is one to mix it in. So we're expecting to see it like maybe twice in this series. Maybe twice, maybe more. Meanwhile, HonMonO, he's not really one to embrace mech too much, as he's going for a Rax into factory opener here. Interesting, off of 1 gas. Cure going for an expansion. Again, single gas opener means Rax expand from the side of Cure. HonMonO, with the earlier factory, I was talking about mech. Are we willing to open up Vulture? Do we open up Vulture into a second factory as well? Into a... it's been a while since I've seen double factory mass Vulture before. But never mind. Gonna be expanding. Does expand, does get the CC. But HonMonO, you have my attention. We'll see if he does mech it up. Here comes the first Vulture initially. But we're looking for a second factory. That's what we're looking for. He lifted the middle max. Oh yeah, thank you. So he did lift it. Did miss that. As we have our 1-1-1 setup here out of HonMonO. We should be seeing something similar here out of Cure as well. When it comes to TVT, it's an interesting dynamic here where we often see a lot of buyer tank. Air control is, of course, a must. It becomes very crucial as we get into the mid-game. Starports are on the way. We'll see if HonMonO opts to go for something like a Wraith-based opener. We have seen that in TVT. Be a little bit trendy. Same with Banshee openers, of course. It's almost the equivalent. Machine shops on the way. Speaking of Wraith, there it is. We have our initial Wraith. As I mentioned before, like, air control is crucial in TVT, so getting into early Wraiths makes sense. And yep, there we go. Second factory. I mean, after we saw the 1-1-1, it did scream mech. So second factory, mech is on the way. And we are going to calm things down and slow things down after an intense couple of matches. As we mentioned, HonMonO, he cheesed the hell out of Classic and Rumeith. Did nothing but cheese, nothing but all-ins. But as we were emphasizing coming into this series, HonMonO often plays standard against Terran. Once again, Hyperflight Rotors here from Cure. Again, this has been very meta in StarCraft 2 to go Hyperflight Rotors instead of Cloak, just so you have more micro potential with your Banshees. This is also indicative of mech as well, so we might just be getting to mech versus mech. Oh boy. So we're expecting a second factory out of Cure. It's gonna be a long best of 5, isn't it? It's gonna... Oh boy, okay. Stretching. Locking in. Let's go. As we have our academy here from HonMonO. If you see the academy, you might be thinking, oh, is he playing bio? Is he going to go into stim? No. The academy is a prerequisite for comsat stations to be able to scan. So currently, there are no scans available for HonMonO. That will soon change with the academy. Meanwhile, we're banking up those Banshees. Again, to harass across the map. Because HonMonO hasn't seen anything yet, he has no anti-air. Once the academy finishes, once he gets his comsat stations, it is crucial that he scouts these Banshees, otherwise the Banshees can pop off and can deal critical damage. And he does have the Wraiths, sure, but he will need that detection. Ooh, I say Wraith, he has Wraiths, never mind. 3 Wraiths already. He should be fine. Should be good. His 3 Wraiths are on patrol. Third TC is on the way. Tech lab on the racks? Hello. We might see another racks. Okay, we're not going into mech, we're getting into biotank. So biotank out of Cure, thank God. I don't know if my body was ready for mech versus mech on Maganatha war maps. Not like this, not like this. Scan does reveal the racks is, with that, HonMonO is aware of the bio play from Cure. He is aware. Meanwhile, the Banshees, they do dip in. Ooh, and they get 1, they get 2, they get 3 SCVs. But it's not quite worth it here. 3 SCVs that will still lose a Banshee. May lose the other Banshee as well. Nice kiting here from HonMonO. He kites well and the Banshee barely gets away. We're not rallied. We're not rallied. Oh, yeah, not rallied, and with that, both Banshees do fall. 2 Banshees for 3 SCVs. It is well worth it for HonMonO. So better trade for the Red Terran. HonMonO, he does move out. Siege mode has been researched. Meanwhile, back at home, we have Macfield? Macfield Accelerator on the way. I mean, I guess that's going to be it to help assist against the Wraiths. Cyclone should go down. Cyclone does fall. HonMonO, he's moving out. He's pushing in towards the natural. And we'll see if HonMonO can zone away the Raven. We'll see if he can zone away. As tanks are shelling away at the bunker, they're getting within range of the tank. Universe Matrix is researched, but can Cure can he get close? Can he get close with those Ravens? Comes in for a flank, out of vision of the Terran, of HonMonO. Coming in from behind. And HonMonO, the race out of position. The boys are being pulled. Mass disable. Gets 1, gets 2, throws down the auto starts as well. HonMonO caught off guard. And the race are falling. But he might still have too much. Yeah, he has too much anyway. He breaks on through. He busts through the natural, takes down 23 SCVs, and HonMonO, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken Cure. He's broken his back. Cure, he's down to a handful of Marines. He's down to a handful of Ravens. There are no tanks left. And HonMonO, he's going for the kill. He's going for the kill. Again, it was so crucial that the Banshees did nothing, essentially. The Banshees were a big investment. They kind of fell on their face. Cure lost map control very quickly. And everything just snowballed from there. Everything just snowballed from there. As HonMonO, he will deny the upgrades. Eventually. Will deny them, pushing up the ramp into the production line. Oof. And we'll see if HonMonO starts to inspire here. As oh god, As does Master Sable. Once again, the Ravens, they do outposition the Wraiths. Cure with a very nice fight. So he does Master Sable, he breaks out. Takes the best fight he could have hoped for. Wraiths, they do pick up a couple of Ravens. I say a couple, every Raven goes down. GG gets called. Even though Cure breaks out, he lost everything in the process, and HonMonO takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. HonMonO does take a lead in this series, and we'll see if Cure can recover here. Again, Cure, he had a really rough start with the investment into the Banshees, with losing map control, and of course with not being able to scout the move out of his opponent. He was very unprepared. We saw he was able to come in from behind with the Ravens, with those disables, but it was not good enough. GG. GG, well played. HonMonO takes a lead, and now we're jumping into game number 2. We'll see if Cure can bounce back, or if HonMonO can extend his lead. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Blue Storm, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Blue Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And welcome one to Blue Storm. Blue Storm is one of the smaller maps in the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground, but it has its own unique features with how narrow the entrance is to the natural base, with the ramps, with the high ground. We'll see how he's set up, as HonMonO is going to be rocking up with Brood War Terran once again. No surprises here. We expect Cure at every moment to embrace SE2 Terran as often as he can, as it is loser's pick. Reminder, loser's pick, so Cure did decide to stick with SE2 Terran. Double gas. Okay, double gas opener at a Cure. This time he's going for a delayed CC. He's going for a faster factory into a more aggressive and assertive start. From the side of HonMonO, I do know that I did say, if you recall, we did mention how HonMonO, he plays typically standard against Terran, but I feel like Blue Storm might be a viable map to be aggressive and to be a little bit cheeky. So we'll see if HonMonO does adjust, and we'll see if we do end up embracing something like a double factory opener, which we haven't seen yet. So have a double gas. First factory is on the way. Have my attention. Have my attention. SCV Scout does confirm. And speaking of double factory, there it is. Double factory, mass vulture on the way here from HonMonO. Again, the reason why we brought up this build even before, or even as we were getting to the game, is just because of the map itself, right? The map does kind of lend towards this more aggressive style. Cure back at home, going for a safe opener. Cure, he will have the tools to defend, but we'll see if he's familiar with this build and familiar with what's coming his way. The Reaper should confirm, but we'll see. Reaper moves out. Does scout one factory, does scout the second factory, he's does see the double factory setup, is aware of what's going on. He is aware. Meanwhile, shout out to Games Kingdom in the chats. Gustavo. Thank you so much. Obrigado. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast or ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome to the SC Evo. Now, typically, when we go into Mass Vulture like this, we usually go into a machine shop into fast ion thrusters. That is not the case here, though. Interesting. We're rushing into siege mode instead. Okay, this is a variation that I'm less familiar with here. So, rushing into siege mode, we're going into a tank switch. It is going to be a mech-based build, of course, but, and we're still one base, by the way. Still a one base setup, still a one base all in. Cure, he has a piece of the puzzle. He saw the initial factory, so he's setting up defensively. We have bunkers on the way. He's setting up his bunkers. Replay cast again? I mean, we weren't able to cast this live because we were casting another event live. So usually we're casting events live, and to catch up on events that we miss, we do have replay casts to catch up on them. So we do have SE Evo replay cast today and tomorrow, and we are live casting the podcast this evening, for example. So now here come the tanks. Here comes HonMonO. HonMonO does move out. Going for his own drop. Remember, siege mode is researched, so he is going for it. He does set up. He is within range of the mineral line, I believe. Yeah, he is within range of the tank as well. Ooh, the first tank goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the first tank does fall. Cure out of position. Yeah, the Rax does land to tank some shots. As the Wraith is moving in as well. Wraith is moving in. Marine does add some DPS. And the Viking, one more shot. Ooh, does go down as well. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, the Viking goes down. The CC's under fire. Does need that vision. Rax is moving in. And I believe the healing rate of the repair is not going to be good enough. There's too many tanks. Yeah, too many tanks. 2 more volleys. Yeah, CC forced to lift. And with that, Cure is stuck in a 1-base economy, but the Liberator has arrived, and with that, Cure holds. Cure, he does hold on. HonMonO back at home. Late CC, remember this was a 1-base all-in initially, a 1-base setup, so very late expansion for HonMonO. Likewise, he has to rebuild his racks. So you said the range of Brood War is bigger? Yes. Brood War tanks have 1 extra range, I believe. They have 1 extra range compared to SE2 tanks. But here he does hold, he does defend. And what's important here is, again, because this is all on 1 base, HonMonO's economy is still worse. HonMonO, he has a worse economy here. Cure is able to restabilize. And the pressure is on HonMonO to do more damage. He needs more. He needs to get more done. Once again, trying to get within range of the mineral line. Oof. Race. They get caught out. Wraiths are getting caught out. So we have just massive Viking on the way here from Cure. Reactivating out those Vikings. And HonMonO, he didn't achieve enough damage here. It was nice. If he had killed the CC, that would have been huge. But he didn't. He didn't kill the CC. Didn't kill enough workers. And it's going to port Mass Wraith as well. Once again, embracing mech. But the game will continue. From here, the game does continue. Nice use of Cloak, catching out one of the Vikings. Yeah, 1 Viking goes down, gets 1, gets 2. Ooh, as we do drop in a couple of vultures, let's go. Going for the vulture drop, okay. Vultures, they bust into the mineral line. Cure, he's out of position. Raise, they do, don't quite catch the transferring workers, but they do get on top of the add-ons. A couple of add-ons are going down. Curie's holding onto a scan, or at least he's waiting for one. Yeah, scan is not yet available. There we go. Does scan. Gets 1 Wraith. Gets 1. That was the only scan. They say back off. Now Curie, he still has a high worker count. He still has a solid economy here, but now there's no mining. Yeah, there's no mining in the main base. He's repairing. Boys are pulled away. HonMonO, he's gluing his way back into this. Going for a 3rd starport. And committing to Mass Raid. He is committing to Mass Wraith. He wants his Vikings. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Doesn't quite one shot. Takes down the Liberator. A couple of nice pickoffs here. And we're still waiting for a turret. A turret would work so well. The tanks are back. Tanks, they move in, they shell away against the mineral line, and this time we have air control. That's what's important here. The tanks are knives, but the Wraiths really make it here for HonMonO. As it's so crucial that he maintains that air control. He sniped the Liberator earlier. Ooh, does overextend? It does overextend. Has to be careful with those Wraiths. Is that a 4th starport? Let's go! Getting a 4th starport. He wants that air superiority. Stacking up his Wraiths, coming in from left-hand side. From here, he can get on top of the bunker. And again, he chose not to get any turrets. So it's been that much more difficult to deal with this. As Wraiths, once again, they dive in, they pick off the Raven. Oh, Raven shot does go off. Nice anti-armor missile, but despite that, no more Vikings. Yeah, no more Vikings. GG gets called. The Mass Wraith does eventually overwhelm, and HonMonO takes game number 2. GG. Whew. GG, well played, HonMonO. He does extend his lead in the series here. Once again, we actually spoke about this, if you remember, in Kier's match against, I think it was against Classic. Or was it against Rumeith? We spoke about how, sorry, it was against Classic, that's it. We spoke about how Kier, a big disadvantage that he has here is his inexperience with SE Evo and his inexperience with some of these builds and some of these styles. So because of that, we did see a bit of a shaky response. Basically, ideally, in TVT, in StarCraft 2, when your opponent goes 2-port Mass Viking, which is a build, it is the build to go 2-port, 2-base Mass Viking, ideally you want to respond with your own second starport to keep up with that Viking production, to keep up with that air, kind of air control, with that air fight, and to be able to sustain yourself and even win that as well. Here, we didn't actually have a second starport from Cure. Even though he had a better economy, he never got a second starport. He didn't really emphasize Viking production that much, partly because he didn't really know what was happening. He wasn't really aware of the mass starport behind this. If he was, we would have responded with another starport, with additional Viking production, to focus on that fight in the air, to prioritize that instead. But that just wasn't the case for Cure. It wasn't the case. He wasn't really expecting the Mass Wraith, I don't think, and it's something that did catch him off guard. It's something that I'm sure he's never played against. GG. GG, well played. And again, this is where we're getting into game 3, and do we 3-0? Ay. Can we make a series out of this? Can we bounce back? As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Pylon, we have the red Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran once again, representing Team Hyper 1, leading the series 2-0. It is HonMonO. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player, with the blue Terran representing Team Liquid, the SE2 Terran. It is a Cure. Try StarCraft Mass Recall. Is Mass Recall the offshoot of SE Evo, or is that something else? I know that the people working on StarCraft Evolution, they are also working on a campaign. They're working on their version of the Brood War campaign, like SE Evo Brood War campaign in SE2. And yeah, a lot of work is being put into that, of course. I think Mass Recall is something else. I think Mass Recall is just a port of the campaign, right? That's it now. Cure going for the proxy. Let's go. Double gas opener. Cure, he commits to the proxy. Welcome on to Pylon, of course, one of the smaller maps in the map pool. As HonMonO is setting up back at home. Mass Recall was brutal campaign for SE2. Yeah. It was just the brutal campaign, but I believe the people behind StarCraft Evolution, behind this mod, they're working on their own version, basically, of the Brood War campaign in SE2, but it's going to be incorporating all of the new models, of course, all the new units, all the Brood War units. Like, it's going to be a little bit more, I guess, faithful. It's a lot more work, of course, but they're working on it. Reaper is being zoned away. And we are going proxy Reaper. Okay, single ranks, factories back at home, so not the most committed proxy. It is aggressive, yes, but not too committed here. We'll see if Cure can get some damage done as the Vulture has arrived. With the help of the Vulture, HonMonO should be able to hold his own and should be able to chase this down. As the Reaper does pull away. Does pull away. CC on location for Cure. CC on location almost done for HonMonO. So HonMonO, he has a lead here. He has a faster base. He will have a bit of a slightly better economy. Cure behind this going into Magfill accelerators. Okay, so every game so far in this series, Cure, he's gone bio tank. He has yet to embrace mech. We'll see if this is going to be the first of that. So we'll see. Yep, there we go. Second factory is on the way. So Cure is going Mass Cyclone. And we'll see if he can apply pressure and overwhelm HonMonO. Reapers into the main base, getting one SCV, getting two SCVs. Oof. Yeah, two SCVs going down, getting a third SCV, just barely not. As Vultures, they chase down the final Reaper. And HonMonO, he has no idea what's going on. That's the big concern here for HonMonO, is that he hasn't scouted. He doesn't know what's happening. He doesn't know that Cyclones are amassing. Oh no! Yeah, it doesn't pull away the Vulture far enough. One Vulture goes down already. The Cyclone, he wants the Wraith. He wants the Wraith, and the Wraith, it looks like it is going to fall as well. Massive pickoffs. Cyclone gets a Vulture, gets a Wraith. Ay. Gets a Marine as well. Can he get a tank? No shot. Oh god. If the tank goes down, that might just be game. As the tank gets very low. Oof. Gets another Vulture. Again, the efficiency has been brutal. You can see just how much has been lost so far. 2 Vultures, 2 Marines, a Wraith. And we're still just massing more Cyclones. So massing more Cyclones. Oh, that's it. I was trying to remember the name, but so this is StarCraft Evolution. The campaign, the ported Brood War campaign in StarCraft 2 is called StarCraft Evolution Complete. So SE Evo Complete. If you look that up, then you can play the Brood War campaign in SE2 with all these models, with all these units, with again, like all of this stuff. I guess you can think of it like a newer Mass Recall, I guess. As once again we're going to port Mass Wraith. This is a concern. HonMonO, he still hasn't scouted. He's still in the dark as to what's happening. Mass Wraith can work well against a more standard composition, but Mass Wraith, they're not really known for their anti-ground. I'm really concerned for HonMonO here. We'll see. The tank support will help, right? If he can try to force a fight within range of these tanks, then HonMonO can take a fight. But we'll see. Has Cyclones to do rotate. Scan across the map. Does confirm the mass Cyclone. That's the first scan of the game for HonMonO. Cyclones, they're already up the ramp. Ooh, doesn't quite commit in. Racer going across. Disable is ready, which means Cure, he can break through that siege line. The tanks are on siege, and these tanks are going to go down. Yeah, every tank here will fall. Race, they try to race back. But without tank support, okay, they do have a tank. They do have one tank. They go for the Raven. Raven goes down. Gets one Cyclone. Oh god, that was not worth it. That was not worth it here. And Curie's just getting further ahead. He's just snowballing out of control, getting further ahead, getting his third base on location. He's replaced the Raven. He's built up more Cyclones. I can see Mass Wraith working here, but only if they have those tanks in range. And they've not been in range. I mean, there's only 2 tanks. Someone is moving out. Is moving out. There are no turrets back at him to defend, despite seeing the massive raid, so damage is going to be done. He's going to get a couple of SCVs. That's 3 SCVs going down. Oof, will the race get caught? These are not worth it. That was 3 race for 3 SCVs. HonMonO, he's at least trying to buy some time. Oof, losing another raid. 4 for 4. Ay, ay, ay. And it's going to be a rocky game here for HonMonO. He's just now getting a 3rd CC. Now, there's a chance where HonMonO can turtle. To be honest, he could just turtle up as hard as he can, and slowly get a 3rd, and slowly get a 4th, and try to catch back up. But if he gets caught on siege like this, Cure, he can just overwhelm. He also has his Master Raven, of course, if he's able to land those disables, and HonMonO, so then Cure, he can break this army. Comes down to the Ravens. Does catch a couple of these Cyclones. Okay, not a bad initial trade for HonMonO. I say that, he does still trade though, and trades on something he can afford. Yeah, as he gets caught out. He gets caught out. The Wraith count is completely reset. Ahaka losing every single Wraith. Again, fighting out of range here of these tanks. Does fight out of range. And now here come the Mass Disables. Yeah, disables most, if not every tank. Yeah, almost every tank. Cyclones, it's still going to be difficult to push up the ramp, but they will be able to. Yeah, they break through. We get the auto turrets as well. GG gets called, and Cure, he does fight back. We have a back and forth. We have a series. We're going to game 4. GG. GG, well played. Just a really rough start for HonMonO, losing the early race, losing the early tanks as well, and getting caught off guard by the Mass Cyclone. With that, Cure does overwhelm, and Cure takes the game. Let's go. Does take a game, and from here, ooh, this is what I was worried about. So for the first time, HonMonO, he will lose a game in this series, which means it's HonMonO's pick. And HonMonO, he's picking SC2 Terran, which means he's forcing Cure to play Brood War Terran. And this is where, I mean, maybe Cure is a little bit inspired as to what HonMonO was up to. We'll see. We'll see. The pressure is still on Cure, but he is fighting back. Let's go. Let us go. Can Spider Mines hit Cyclones? They could hit Cyclones. Bearing in mind that was Cyclone Ravens, so detection or trying to have like any kind of hidden units wouldn't really work too well. Bearing in mind as well that if you went into Vulture production, that means you would not have anywhere near as many tanks. And the composition specifically there for HonMonO was Tank Wraith, which I would say is a better composition than Wraith Vulture. The tanks were pretty crucial. We saw that unfortunately HonMonO, he was fighting out of range of the tanks. If he was able to make use of them, then he could have taken some better fights. But yeah, I don't think it was just a rough start to begin with, just because he lost so much in the beginning of the game. There we go. Now we're getting into game number 4, and spawning in the top side of Sylphid, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the SE2 Terran representing Team Hyper 1. It is HonMonO. And in the bottom right-hand corner, getting proxied. Let's go. Getting proxied, we have the Broodor Terran player here representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. I saw in the chat, I played so much Broodor as a kid, I didn't play S2 that much. I'm similar in a sense. We had this discussion before, where we had this discussion on stream before, and we're going to keep it brief because we are cheesing. But playing and consuming media back in the day was very different, right? Back in the day, like, was very, very different because you were so limited in what you had, right? Back in the day, there was like no Netflix, no Disney Plus, no streaming service, YouTube. This is pre-YouTube as well. So whenever you like bought a movie and had a movie as a kid, like a VHS or even a DVD, you typically like rewatch that movie quite a lot because that's all you had, right? Like you didn't have as much accessible to you, so you'd rewatch it. And you would like it'd be a little bit more ingrained into you as a result, like rewatching like Star Wars all the time, or Lord of the Rings, or etc. Whatever movies you would have. Same with games. I feel like you would often replay games because how often would you get games as a kid? Like I would get games like maybe for my birthday and for Christmas. Like that's it, right? Like birthday and Christmas. That's when you get like maybe a new game. But like that's what you're limited to. So you'd often like just replay it over and over and over again. So I played Broodor so much as a kid as well, just because that's all we had. As opposed to now, you get a Steam sale, you get like 10 games for $5, and you just play everything. Ah. Now there, to have our Master Reaper initially into double proxy Marauder. Okay. Tech labs are being set up. Reapers into the main. Already causes more appreciation. For sure. Whether it's appreciation, like whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, like it's just something that maybe becomes a little bit more impactful than it otherwise would be, just because you consume it so much more often, right? Like there are pros and cons, for sure. But like I played the StarCraft 2 campaign I think once. I think I played it twice for the achievements. Sure, played it a second time for the achievements, but that's it. For Brood War, I played that so often. But again, that was one of the only PC games that I had. So last time I go play. Meanwhile, the Proxy 2 Rex is getting underway again, going into Concussive Shell, into a one-base solo with Proxy Tanks. Let's go, Proxy Tanks. Marauders, they push forward. What do we have to defend? We're getting into Vultures and Spider Mines. Okay. Spider Mines are amassing. Wraiths as well. I think the problem is that even if you had like a bad movie as a kid, like you'd still rewatch it over and over again. Like I watched like episode 1 a lot as a kid because I had it. Doesn't make it a good movie, but it's ingrained into my skull. Had on VHS. As HonMonO, he is getting within range of the bunker. And it looks like eventually we'll go down. I mean, is denying mining time? Behind this going 2-port. Okay, 2-port Mass Viking. So 2-port Mass Viking here by HonMonO. Race, they do take down the initial floating racks. So far, Cure, he's holding on. Remember, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Cure. Cure, he has more mining, he has more saturation, he has more economy. HonMonO, he's on a timer. He's on a timer here. Max does barely go down. We can see HonMonO slowly pushing forward, but again, is he taking too long? How many wraiths do we have? 4. We have 4 wraiths so far. And the 2 Vikings for HonMonO. Wraiths, they can believe it. They can believe this back. Oof. They got 1 Viking. Just the one. HonMonO trying to rally from across the map. Tank. Oh, both tanks go down. Yeah, HonMonO's doing too much. He's losing far too much here. Cure, he's holding. He's holding on back. He's got his 4 tanks. He's got his Mass Wraith. He has a 2 base economy, and things are looking bleak for HonMonO. It was a cheeky build to rush into proxy tank like this and rush into proxy Marauder, but he didn't really get anything for it. He hasn't killed. He's killed 3 SCVs. Healed bunkers more than anything. Killed bunkers. Denied some mining. But HonMonO is falling further behind. Falling further and further behind here. HonMonO getting into the main. He's going to get some economic damage. But he will lose this air army. At least he should. And GG gets called. HonMonO, he has nothing left, and Cure, he ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. Whew. GG, well played. We're going all the way to the ace match. Again, it was a bit of a quirky cheese and a bit of a quirky all-in by HonMonO. It didn't really gain any momentum. It kind of fell on its face. But with that, HonMonO takes a loss. It's going to be HonMonO's choice once again as to what race he wants to embrace. And once again, it looks like HonMonO is sticking with SC2 Terran. He's forcing Brood War at a Cure, and I'm hoping he takes a more macro approach this time. Hoping that is the case, but we'll see. We shall see as we're going the distance here. The final game of the series, the final game of the broadcast. Up next, we're loading into Holy World. There's a lot to get into, man. A lot to get into. Brood War was the golden age. Playing LAN with 9 of my best friends is still one of my fondest memories. That is so cool. That's so cool. Here, the idea of playing LAN was like the idea of having multiple PCs in a household sounds crazy. So I never had that LAN experience, unfortunately. Like we never had that many. I don't think I had enough friends. Like the idea of like traveling with that massive like 20 kilo piece. That sounds crazy, but it sounds really cool. I know that a lot of people did experience that. For us, nah, not quite. But here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into the final game of the series. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Holy World, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Brood War Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Yellow Terran. We have the Yellow Terran player himself. It is HonMonO. Yes, SC2 Terran. Let's go and welcome one to Holy World. Holy World is a 4-player small map. You can spawn in top side, top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right as well. Here we go. So we do have 4 possible spawn locations, and we'll see how our players do open up. To be fair, it was a computer lab at school. That's fair. That's fair. It's fair. Reading Masters of Doom. It's so fun to play Doom on my Xbox and relive my childhood a bit. Let's go. Yeah, I think that was the more common, at least here, a little bit more common was because consoles back then were kind of built for multiple players, like going to your friend's house and like playing Smash on like the N64, playing Halo, of course. Good times, good times, good times. Oh, the nostalgia. Jesus, what's going on? As Cure, he's opening up two factory. So 2 factory opener out of Cure. You have my attention. I would imagine we're going into Massive Ultra. That would make the most sense in my mind. At the same time, we do see HonMonO going for his own double gas opener, racks into factory. So tech heavy start out of HonMonO, going for an early Cyclone. So early Cyclone production out of our Terran player, going for the starport, staying on 1 base economy. And of course, he does find his opponent. Does find Cure. Find him. Meanwhile, I assumed it was going to be double factory Massive Ultra, but no double factory rushing into tank production early on. Starport's on the way. Cure, he refuses to expand. I mean, neither player's expanding, by the way. Both players staying on 1 base. Just a 1 base setup here. We have Macville accelerators from HonMonO rushing into Mass Cyclone, what looks to be. But with Siege Mode, with an early tank count, Cure, I don't know if he can be broken. HonMonO expands. Okay, HonMonO, he does expand. Cure is secure. Oof. You set up. It's set up. Yeah, with that Cure, I mean, there's no expansion yet, by the way. I would have assumed he would have gone to CC by now. But Cure, he's committing. He's committing on the 1 base setup, going Massive Ultra. We have Ion Thrusters on the way. We have Spider-Mines on the way as well. Cure, he's long distance mining. Let's go. And as Cure moves out, HonMonO, he moves in. Does get a scat as well. He confirms the mech. Confirms the production. Cure is still dropping. Ooh, as HonMonO snipes the control tower. Okay. Takes down the add-ons. Back at home, what does HonMonO have to defend? Nothing. Yeah, there's nothing here, just the production. HonMonO pulls away. Vulture drop into the main. But Spider-Mines aren't ready. Yes, Spider-Mine is not yet done. An anti-timing out of Cure. He's going in before the upgrade. Yeah, it does go in. The dropship's going to be hunted down. HonMonO is losing SCVs, but he's fine. He has 2 bases. He can afford to lose them. He can afford to lose some workers. As he has mules as well. We'll clean this up. And Cure finally forced to expand. So it's been a very intense early game here. Because of the 7 SCVs going down, Cure, he's holding his own. He can actually expand and get into a 2-base setup. So it's HonMonO. We have mech versus mech, but HonMonO rushing into a fusion core. Okay. Going for the fusion core, rushing into BC. Interesting. So BC rush out of our yellow Terran. Now what's scary about rushing into BCs like this, as the first Banshee is revealed, is that anti-air is going to be quite limited for Cure, but he's already massing up Wraiths. So he's already building Wraiths. Takes down the Banshee. Notable losing 5 SCVs. Academy's on the way for the Comsat station. HonMonO, he does continue his aggression. Getting ready with the Cyclone. Hoping to catch a Wraith even. And here comes the first battle cruiser. It's the first BC. And again, there's no armory, which means there's no Goliath production. Without any Goliaths right now, we're just relying purely on the Wraiths for anti-air. And so far, there's only 2 Wraiths. We have the controls tower on the way. He's getting his tower. Drop into the main base, going for the starport. Shouldn't kill it. As boys are being pulled, we have tanks responding. Dropship, not another Wraith. So again, that anti-air is very limited here. Cloak is being researched. How many BCs do we have? This is the first battle cruiser. Second starport's all the way scanned. The scan does miss the tech. Barely does miss the tech there. Barely out of vision. As again, we're scanning. It does get eyes on the starport production at least. As I believe that's a third starport on the way. Here we go. Goliath production has begun. Okay, he saw. Yeah, he's at least somewhat aware. He saw the starport. Vulture drop into the main. At least into the bases. BC's revealed. Yeah, forced to reveal the BC. Now Kira knows. Now he has confirmation. And backing up, we need turrets. We need to set up some turrets. Need more factories, more Goliaths. And we'll see what HonMonO can get done. That one Vulture is still there. Oh no! Yeah, the Vulture gets away. 6 SCV kills. BCs are moving in, but we have how many? We have 5 Goliaths and 2 Wraiths. You might as well help. Gets 2 Goliaths. 2 Goliaths go down. Oh, that one BC taking a lot of damage, taking a lot of hits. Oh, it has to teleport. Ooh, teleport's too late. Yeah, too little too late there for HonMonO. And he has to teleport in time. Does save 1 BC at least. But plenty of anti-air. Cure holds. Cure holds, he defends. What's scary here is that there's so much resources invested into these battle cruisers. The rest of the army is lacking. HonMonO, he has 1 tank. He has 1 tank. He has 4 Cyclones. He's making only BCs. Like, that is all his production. Just mass BC production out of HonMonO. Control tower. Curious moving out. Here in the center we have neutral disruption webs. They're kind of, think of them like permanent neutral blinding clouds. A lot of goods up. There's not that many Goliaths here, but there's more reinforcements coming in. A couple of nice Vigos with the Yamatos. Here he doesn't push. He opts not to move out yet. HonMonO, he's making 3. He's just going mass BC. He's just mono BC. Let's go. I mean, BCs have a lot of potential just because they can go in, Yamato, and then teleport away. So they have a lot of mobility. Last getting put out of position. We got 1 teleport back home. Does pull away at the same time. We do have another drop. The drops are being dealt with. 10 SCV kills. And how many BCs do we have? 6. It's gonna be 9 battle cruisers. Oh boy. Getting up to 9 BCs up against 22 Goliaths. And remember, the tank count is quite low. It's a very low tank count for HonMonO. He's only got 2 tanks, which means the ground army here of Master Goliath can actually work. Ooh, miss rally. Yeah, massive miss rally. One BC gets thrown away for free. One BC goes down to 6 battle cruisers. Okay, now we're getting into tank production. HonMonO is making more tanks, but I believe that's the only factory. It's vulnerable. BC's a counterattack. Goliath's not moving in. Cure, we gotta do something. Either push in or go back home. Because these BCs are wreaking havoc. They're getting on top of the production. We gotta go for it. Yeah, he's gotta go. Does rush in. Takes down 1 tank so far. There's still 2 tanks left. Can he break through the siege line? Gets one of the BCs. Gets a second tank. There's 1 tank remaining. Yeah, 1 tank left. And Curie breaks through. He breaks through. He breaks into the natural, but he bled out a lot of Goliaths. That was how many? That was, Jesus, that was 21 Goliaths going down. Oh my god. And no more production. No more production. How many Goliaths are left? 17. 17 Goliaths remaining. See here, HonMonO getting on top of the factories. That is his win condition. Get on top of those factories. This is muling to repair. 1 BC goes down. We'll catch 1 battle cruiser. Goliath is stepping in. Oof. And Brutal Yamato's. And HonMonO, I think he's done it here. I think the BC is just too efficient. Especially with the Yamatos. On top of the factories. There are 12 Goliaths left. It's almost 1-to-1. There's still 2 more BCs on the way. The BCs are teleporting in to reinforce. And HonMonO, I think he has done it here. Yeah, more BCs. Everything floats away. Now, Cure does still have mining. He still has some saturation. True. That's a little bit of saturation. And we have some hidden starports on the way. Oh, nice catch on the orbitals. Very nice. HonMonO, he saves the starport. Is there a chance? Can he win by elimination? Can he just go for the buildings? Can he just hunt down the buildings instead? And with these rates, hunt down the starports as well. That's what he's going for. Yeah, that's what he's going for. I mean, chasing BCs is not going to be easy. Just because, again, they are so mobile. So, Goliath can commit. HonMonO is revealed. He has no more orbitals. But Goliath, can they kill buildings fast enough? I don't think they can. Oh, he's going in! Oh my god. He goes to the dive. Yeah, Yamato's not moving up. Yamato as much as he can, and there are just not enough Goliaths. Not enough Goliaths here. HonMonO, he has done it. Chasing down the final army. Cloak is being researched. I feel like we've restarted Cloak like 3 or 4 different times. we've seen Cloak starting to research so often in this game and never finishing. Yeah, chases down the final Goliaths. Sure, he's down to 9 spider mines in the center of the map, but down to 8 SCVs where he has some mining top right, and he's down to 4 raids. With the help of Cloak, if Cloak finishes, if he builds up enough raids, he can maybe go in and like snipe a BC or at least force teleports, but there is maybe a chance. Remember, HonMonO has no way to detect. He has no scans, he has no detectors. I spoke too soon. Raven is on the way. He's getting a Raven. And a Viking. BC is still alive.
Base is
Race, they're going for the Raven. Oh. I mean, again, he sees the starport. He knows. Oh no! Does get it. Raven goes down. Raven goes down. Cloak does finish. Okay, here, it's go time. Cure, he can activate Cloak and he can maybe get some BC kills. Goes in. It's a lot of damage. Already one BC goes down. He gets one. He gets one BC. He gets two. He's gonna get everything. Oh my god, he gets a second BC. Gets a Viking. So much free damage. The power of Cloak. Oh my god. As he teleports the hell out of there. And now Curie's hunting him down. Now, I would advise him to decloak and to preserve as much energy as he can. He doesn't want to waste it. Doesn't want to waste it, but he will find another battlecruiser. He's hunting. This BC has no teleport. This BC will be killed. More BCs are found. He hunts out another BC falls. And we're down to how many? Down to 3 BCs. 3 battlecruisers remaining. No teleport. He can't get away. Yo, Cloak lasts a long time. Cloak lasts a very long time here, and he's done it. Este Cure with Cloak. Again, if it wasn't for Cloak, he would not have been able to take these fights. Ooh, takes down the BC. There's one battlecruiser remaining. This is the final one. The final BC. No shot. You're with the Cloak. And no shot HonMonO forces Q to kill all the buildings. Are we that petty? HonMonO, he can be. There we go. GG, good luck. And GG, nothing left. Cure, he will take the series 3-2. And Cure will advance on to the playoffs. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Este Cure. Oh my god. GG, well played. Again, Cure, the one way to claw his way back into that game. As we mentioned, Cloak was denied so often this game. Was denied so often. Finally, it finished, and with the help of Cloak, he was able to catch those battle cruisers, able to shut them down. There was zero detection, zero way to deal with those wraiths, at least cloaked. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. Cure, he pulled it off. Let's go, Bobby, let's go. GG. Cure, he did clutch it. Very impressive. Very impressive. Again, Cure, he never gave up. Things were looking bleak. Things were looking very bleak for Cure, for sure. Things were looking rough. Nah, he got himself into it. Let's go. If you save the Raven, yeah, if he saved the Raven, for example, he would have forced, he probably would have forced Cure to dive on the Raven, would have maybe taken some Yamatos, and it's just, GG. GG. Oh my god. Crazy game. Crazy game. HonMonO has some of the most strangest games sometimes. Oh, I mean, he's just a strange player. He's makes for that. It was beautiful. That was beautiful. GG, well played. Congratulations to Cure. And with that, we have our confirmed players. We have our confirmed players making it through into the playoffs here. We had Classic, of course. Classic took down HonMonO 2-0. Cure took down Rumeith 2-1. And then Classic made it through in first place, not dropping a single map in the group stage. And we had some crazy pop-offs here. HonMonO had a very strong start. He was up 2-0. He 2-0'd Rumeith, and he was up 2-0 against Cure. It was looking like a 3-0. And then HonMonO, he cheesed in game 3. It was very lackluster. It was very lackluster game 3. Likewise, game 2 as well. We had some crazy builds out of HonMonO, hyper aggression. And in the end, didn't quite pay off. I'm referring to the game on Sylphid. That's the game I'm referring to. And on Pylon as well. Sylphid and Pylon. HonMonO, he tried to cheese, he tried to proxy, tried to commit, and the builds, they fell on their face. And that led into, of course, the ace match. Led into Holy World, where we saw went down to the wire, went down to elimination, went down to BC versus Wraith, versus Cloaked Wraith specifically. GG well played. With that, congratulations to Cure, as he does make it through again. Cure, I will say that he kind of stumbled his way through the group. His Brutal Terran still leaves much to be desired. It is less practice, less so than some of these other players, of course. So this is something that Cure is going to have to work on coming into the playoffs. It is a big weak point for Cure, but it is enough to carry. His StarCraft 2 skills are enough to carry him through the group stage. And hey, technically, even here in the final game, he did win with Brutal Terran. True, it was still a very shaky game, still very shaky, still very intense, but regardless, did pull it off. Very impressive. GG. GG, well played. Very impressive play there by Cure. The tenacity, puppy. Ah, the tenacity. Crazy. Yeah. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. Did I miss all the sets today? Yes, we just finished. We just finished the group. Ooh. And with that, we are wrapping up for the day. Again, we are going to be back later on tonight, of course, with some more casting, with a podcast specifically, as you can see here tonight. Thursday evening, we're live with the podcast. That's going to be at 7 p.m. KST. That's going to be at 8 p.m. AEST. That is going to be in 7 hours. In just under 7 hours' time, we're going to be live with the podcast. Also, we're going to be live tomorrow, Friday, with StarCraft Evolution with Group D. Group D is going to be tomorrow for the round 16. And of course, we have Little League Cup on Friday. Now, this graphic is not updated. Over the weekend, we are going to be live with Maestros of the Game. That is a big French tournament. Big tournament happening in France. And a big offline event happening in Paris, in France. But the online stage is this weekend. The StarCraft Evolution League playoffs are also this weekend as well, but I believe we're going to be covering them via replays throughout the course of the week. Is the plan. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. As we are going to be wrapping up for the time being. And again, if you want some more StarCraft Evolution, tomorrow in less than 24 hours, we're going to be live with Group D. With Group D to finalize the group stage and to confirm the players making it into the playoffs. That's the plan. That is the plan here tomorrow. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you want to watch more of the CranKy Ducklings, you can check us out over on YouTube. ! Socials in the chat. Exclamation mark YouTube. We'll give you a link to our YouTube channel. We do upload VODs on a daily basis. There's plenty of content on YouTube, plenty of content to consume. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go get some breakfast. I'm gonna go rest up and get ready for the podcast. Otherwise, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys tomorrow or tonight. We'll see you tonight or later on tomorrow. See you then. Until then, ciao, papi, ciao, hasta luego. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.